Coming off that impressive post-Fed rally we saw late in the day yesterday, futures back in negative territory ever so slightly here this morning. The Fed comes out with, as expected, a half-point increase yesterday, and more importantly, took the 0.75 probability right off the board, saying 0.75 increase, not something they are looking at or interested in at the moment. So that was the big catalyst back to the upside for the overall market. They'll start reducing the balance sheet as well coming up in June. Some strategists were pointing to a pretty impressive rally that we saw yesterday, maybe even continuing for the next couple of days post-Fed. We'll see how today goes. Tons of earnings to get through once again. This morning as well, we get Shopify, we get some from the energy group, Shell, ConocoPhillips, both out this morning. Coming up after the close tonight, want to make sure we touch on this block, or Square, depending on how you want to look at it, set to report tonight. Also DoorDash coming up tonight as well. So big names to come. Twilio moving, Shopify, Fastly, all on watch this morning, following reports from all of those. Going to be an interesting day. It's Thursday, May 5th, 2022. TraderTV.live starts now. Yeah, there we go. Look at more red numbers, unfortunately, coming off, as we said, that pretty impressive move yesterday. Not that bad overall. 0.75 from the NASDAQ there, leading the way. 0.6 for the S&P, the Dow. Back to the downside as well. We'll see if some significant levels here can hold pre-market and get moving back in the right direction. Yeah, crude back to the upside again today, 1.2%. In positive territory. Bitcoin, Ethereum chopping around so far, not really doing a heck of a lot. Welcome to a Thursday, guys. Good morning. Post-Fed, does the rally continue? It was a pretty solid move yesterday, but yeah, we're back in negative territory here, but some names kind of holding at the top end of that range that we put in yesterday.
Ooh, of course, like the first chart I pulled up is one that isn't holding that range, but yeah, welcome. There was an impressive rally. We'll get into it maybe in a bit, talking about how it's different from the first hike, because it was a very different technical thing that happened in the breakout that we had yesterday versus the one we had before. A little stronger the previous time, which I think is almost obvious. But as we've been talking about here, you've got a lot of things that have broken up and tested the tops of channels and have not broken them. And if resistance is in play, then it gives you levels to work off of, but also puts some short positions in line. Shopify, by the way, Shopify's earning call is going to be on, I think, right now. So if you're trading that one, just be a little bit cautious. They're down 13%. It wasn't good for them, eBay or Etsy. All three of those down significantly, but it was Shop. When it dropped this morning, the bid was... Yet to say there was no bid on it, like when these earnings drop, I swear there's less and less liquidity pre and post market when these earnings come out. But the call is ongoing right now, so just be a little careful.
You mentioned energy there. Yeah, I mean, yesterday we talked about XLE all day yesterday, and especially in the morning that we liked XLE, and now it's up to $82. So XLE, I got a frog in my throat here, ripping up to 82 right now. So a nice little move here for XLE. Look what it did on the 20-minute. Nice little break for $80 all the way to the upside. This has been one of my best trades of the year, is just holding on to this name all the way up here. Look at that move, breaking now into new highs. So look, I like the energy spot. Excuse me. That's better. Okay, yeah, we like the energy spot right there on XLE. I got a favorite of mine here. We're going to seek some revenge on our shorts yesterday. It's already starting to go down. It doesn't matter. I want to put on a huge trade here for AMD at that 100 level. Let's see if it breaks it. If it does, fine. But I want to lose. I want to die on that sword today on the short for AMD. So I think that's a good play. I also like Apple short. We like Datadog. We like eBay. There's a few names on here that are not of the normal. So check out the watch list today and check out our sticky note, Datadog. I really like that name for a long.
Yeah, Rahim Alani going to come through here in a few minutes, guys. We're going to talk about some Canadian energy opportunities as we see oil back to the upside once again, 1.2% as we said. So stick around for that. Before we go any further, though, let's bring in Miss V. Good morning.
Good morning, team. It's going to be another exciting trading day. I wish you all the luck today. Please smash the like button and let's get it started, Brendan.
Yeah, let's get it started, guys. Lots to get through. As you mentioned this morning, you guys were talking a little bit there about both Etsy and Wayfair to the downside here off of reports that obviously weren't good. It was the forecast for both that came up a little bit lighter. I want to talk about Twitter, though, to kick things off, because Elon making moves again in a filing confirming what everyone was thinking, that he has now secured $7.2 billion for this Twitter deal from Twitter investors or prior Twitter investors. So Twitter back above 50 here this morning, back to the upside. I mean, we've talked about how this should play out over the next couple of months, but Elon making moves again.
Yeah, like, I don't know, like if you get something like that, and of course it increases the probability that the deal is going to happen. So all that happens is you gap up and find a new support level. Like before it was like 48, 48 and a half, and it was trading in a range at that price. And who knows where it'll settle, but I would guess it's probably, 49.50 seems a little bit tight. Like maybe you can settle at 50, probably a little bit lower than that. I would think that this can also be interpreted as somewhat good news for Tesla. Somewhat, not huge, but it can relieve a little bit of the pressure on Elon and his shares that he's leveraging. So ultimately, we kind of know what the deal is here. It's very unlikely to trade like a regular buyout until it gets closer to that October 24th deadline. This will give it a bump. If you have been scalp trading this one, looking at that 48 to 48 and a half, what usually happens is it gets closer to the deal. You'll have these types of events, and then you reestablish a new floor, and then you try to play from that. So this would be like day one, where it's trying to reestablish a new floor. Somewhere between 49.50 and 50 is the best I could look. But I haven't even been trading this as it's been going through. But there's a trade there to be had. It's not for me.
Again, guys, yeah, look, I mean, if you like Twitter, you're going to get 54.20. So, I mean, it's just a matter of where do you want to put your money. If you want to put it into an index, you think you can get better than 10% before this thing closes, then you could do that. But I'm very, very confident that this thing's going to go down at 54.20. So you can put your money in right now at 50 and then get 54.20. So you get $4 on 50, so 8% or so return on Twitter. I don't know if we have a closing date for this deal yet, but that's what's going to happen. You're going to get 54.20. So if you want that price, then that's yours. This deal is going to close. I don't see any problems with it. So that's the call there. It's not really, for me, it's not going to be exciting enough to trade. The news is baked in. That's what that is. 54.20 coming into your pocket for Twitter. I just don't know when.
Yeah, Tesla, also kind of interesting this morning, guys. One of those holding top end of the range from yesterday. We'll talk about that coming up. Wanted to mention, though, two names that we were looking at earlier, both Uber and Lyft among that in that list as well, that are decently strong. Here's a look at Lyft, first of all. Morgan Stanley with a price target cut. Guggenheim out with a price target cut. D.A. Davidson with a price target cut. There's also this one here. Uber falls as well on a couple. One of those from Morgan Stanley. But look what just happened. Red to green here for Uber as we speak.
I'm trying to be patient with Uber today. Why is this chart still on Lyft? I'm trying to be patient with Uber today. After what we saw, there were actionable trades, and we had a few good shorts in Uber, and not in the afternoon, because even Uber managed to break out late after Powell made that statement about the 75. But it has not been able to get back above. And again, we'll keep seeing resistance. The aftermarket high, the afternoon high was 28.50. You can definitely see overhead resistance at 30. I think that stands out like a sore thumb. But even the previous support, which was down below it at 28.50, like that's very much in play. And that's what I'm trying to wait out for pop. If it gets through that price, decent chance it gets to that 29.30. I think it requires a bit of a market rally. Lyft's a very similar story, although it got beaten up a heck of a lot more than Uber. I just feel like Uber is going to be a little bit of a tighter range to be able to play off these key levels. But of course, it's screaming into this right now on very, very low volume. So I'll revisit that level at about a little bit closer to 9:30 at the open. I don't want to be in this one too early here, especially when it's low volume. But we've seen this before. You make this wipeout bottom, and then it turns into a breakout if it reestablishes the low. But I'll short it till it reestablishes that low.
I mean, Lyft yesterday was a fun one. We went long early at that 22 level and then, collapsed all the way down. And then we made this 20 bottom. And then, of course, they caught that, Fed rally. And that went all the way to 22 and change. So nice little downside move there to 20. Lyft makes that move to 22. I think this is a screaming short right here at 22. I'm already in the money, 20 cents on AMD here. But I like this short 22 bucks into Lyft, especially if they're getting a couple more downgrades. But whatever, man, this stock is dead. It's all the way to the downside there. You know, if you're going to take 22 short, then you got to get out, you know, when you break 22.50, something like that to that upside. So, you know, there's going to be not much here when you're looking at it. That top was 23.50 there yesterday, and we're going to be looking at 22 and change here. So for me, we danced with it yesterday. Thank God we were able to get out of the way there when it broke 21.50 finally to the downside. But there you have Lyft right there at 22 bucks. I think it's worth a short. I don't know if we have to pay for shorts on this name today or not, but you're going to be SSR anyways, right? So short sale restricted on Lyft today because you made that 10% move at some point down yesterday. So now we're going to have to watch out for this name at 22 bucks. I like the short there. I wish I'd added it to the sticky note. Maybe I'll tweet that out right now, but I like Lyft here near that 22 short. But maybe it does catch a little bit of wind here because yesterday was so bad. So Uber and Lyft, definitely both names should be on people's radar if you're going to be a day trader here today, Brendo.
All right. Worth noting, Uber CEO on CNBC right now, guys. Just heads up on that. Also, want to mention this real quick. Fisker reported. It's not doing anything in the pre-market, but wider than expected loss for Fisker. They also announced this. Project Ronin, which I guess this is a rendering of a 4-seat convertible with, Randy and I were just saying, 660 mile range projected here for this. I don't know if it's going to actually be called Ronin because that's not a great name, but FSR, guys, pretty quiet, though, in the pre-market.
You don't know Ronin?
He knows Ronin. Yeah, the movie there. Isn't
But for
that
cars?
It was Keanu Reeves, right?
No, not
I
Keanu
know,
Reeves.
but
Ronin?
Not Al Pacino.
There's characters that are
That's
Ronin.
it. I
like,
gotta.
in movies.
I
feel like we get old and we have to Google stuff way too
This is
often.
embarrassing. By the way, I said.
I'm thinking about it. Like,
No, it's not. Oh my God. Anyways, De Niro. That's. You know what? I've had enough. I need to not. I need to not be trading there today. Like I'm thinking like, what's his name? What's his name? All these movies he's in. All these movies. It's Robert De Niro. This is.
De Niro.
I give up honestly at this point.
But Ronin's like also like it's a martial arts thing. It's like samurai. That's right. Daniel F.
Tom Cruise. That's a good one.
Samurai.
Yeah, no, that's a great one. Look, Fisker, I like Fisker. We've talked about them with they still have the Ocean coming out. They still have the Pope Mobile throwing down as well. So we'll have to check out that. And I think I like it near that 10 bucks. I mean, we bounced around 10 a couple times here on the daily chart for that. And yeah, okay, well, it's not going to load right now, but hopefully it does. 10 bucks has been a good level. Here's the 20-minute range. Yesterday, you dipped down below that. Obviously, we had some hits early in the market yesterday, made some nice bottoms at that 960, 970, and then you rip up to 1085. So, you know, I like it. This is what it looks like on a daily chart. It's obviously, I've talked about the names I'm invested in. Fisker is one of them. It's Ford, it's Fisker, and it's Tesla. That's really the only, and I have GM as well, but those are the only trades that, names that I'm looking at for the EV space right now. And you are near these crazy bottoms again for all of these names. I mean, every single name that was a SPAC or an EV has really gotten hit over the last little while. So I like Fisker. I like that. I mean, whatever the car looks like. I mean, there's lots of cool cars out there. I mean, everything. Why would you produce one that looks silly? What was that one name that looked?
I know.
Was ridiculous?
Now I'm trying to think of the Candy.
Yeah, the Candy one. We didn't even talk about that. Are they bankrupt? Like, what's up with?
You know how bad it has to be if like immediately both of us are like that ugly car? Yeah, the Candy one.
Yeah, or those helicopters and things. But anyways, I like Fisker here. I think if you're going to take a shot on something, they do have production as far as I know, and I didn't review their earnings. But they're supposed to be in November. I believe they're starting to pick up their production. So I like it. I think the Fisker Ocean, the Pope Mobile, and Mr. De Niro's car there, Ronin, should spark something here. I don't know if it's going to be for a day trade today or down 3%. I haven't read the report, but I like the levels.
Philip is yes.
Brendo?
Oh. I was looking up the Candy stock, and by the way, that stock is about where I'd expect it to be.
Yeah, I mean, they're all kind of down at those
Which
levels.
is pretty much, like it's at the lows and it's not doing anything. But as far as Fisker goes, I didn't see any movement on Fisker at all. So if there's no price action, like it's not doing anything. I don't know if I want to be trading it until I see some price action. But I mean, that $10, it's consolidating. I got to see it do any kind of move. Watch out for HYMC. That's starting to get a bit of a curl here off of the highs. Remember, HYMC is the one that AMC invested in, the gold producer. They reported earnings. They'll be on our watch list. But in front of that $2, I think it's a bit of a fade. Right now, it's It's sort of barcoding at 180s, but I like the short in front of the high.
All right, Raheem Alani is here, Managing Director of OCI Groups in Toronto. We'll talk about the energy sector a little bit. We'll talk about some moves that happened yesterday, as we were just discussing. Pretty impressive. Great to see you as always. Welcome back. It's been a busy week, obviously, as far as interest rates are concerned, as far as what happened yesterday with the Fed. I mean, obviously, there's going to be fallout when it comes to the Canadian market. We're not in such a dire position as some of the U.S. Is, as far as inflation is concerned. But, we saw huge moves across the board, even in Canada yesterday when it comes to the financial sector. I even noticed some of the retail stocks moving around. Yeah. So worth noting, at least as a general point, the strength in the banking sector.
Yeah, no, it was interesting yesterday. Just again, with all the moves that happened, you saw big moves in the banks because, I mean, just the way things bifurcate into the market, whether it's interest rates and how that goes into consumer spending habits, where that money goes, like you said, exactly into retail, like we'll touch on into energy, all those things, how they trickle down in the economy. But the banks did awesome.
Yeah, unbelievable moves yesterday. We'll talk about some of the U.S. ones coming up here as well, benefiting possibly the most out of that interest rate decision yesterday. But as we said earlier in the week, back above $100 for crude oil. That means all of the energy stocks kind of back in play on, I mean, the headlines continue to roll in almost on a daily basis. That aside, let's figure out where there's some opportunities. We're going to run through a list here, guys, of individual names. They're, for the most, I think all of them are listed at least. Yep. Both in Canada and at least on the OTC market in the U.S. So if you don't have exposure to Canadian markets, there's always an OTC listing. So tell us about the first one here, which is PRQ in Toronto.
Yeah, Petrus traded at about $2.37. It was sub $1 year to date. Alberta and Rockies-based assets. Great year-end acquisition. They just raised a little bit of money as well. And the thing that you'll notice thematic around all of these names is going to be they've got cash. They're generating cash either from production or from, like this one, just raising money. And they're going to have to put that cash out into the world. And they're going to have to do it either through share buybacks. They're going to have to do it through dividends. They're going to have to do it through debt reduction. They've got all this cash that they need to just get into their business and right-size their capital structures. So as an investor, you may want to look at some of these companies and look at where those opportunities are. If you're a dividend-seeking investor, there's companies that are doing that. Share buybacks, obviously look at where they're buying back and adjust your price accordingly.
We've seen, the price for crude consolidate over the past month or so, but still holding, obviously, top end of the range here.
Yeah.
You were saying to me yesterday, just, in planning for this, a lot of people still thinking there's more to come when it comes for, the price action.
Yeah, no, exactly. And that was sort of why we touched a little bit heavier on oil. Like one of the names we looked at, I was just shocked that it was up 8% yesterday just on that. And a lot of people are still saying there's still room for 20, 30, 40% here because of everything that's happening in the world, right? And you're looking at whatever happens with Russia and its production. People are getting back on the roads. We sort of, the last time we talked about oil was if and when people travel again, will they get back into their cars? Yeah. Will they use energy? And it's more of a when, not an if at this point, the way it's looking. And so as people are out there getting into their cars, driving, the price of gas is just the demand's going to keep going. And an interesting fact, again, is the depletion. So the U.S. is using reserves to supplement this and keep prices sort of consistent, but they're using resources. They're using up their reserves to substantiate this, and at some point you're going to deplete your reserves, and price is going to reflect that.
The other side of this story is if you've tried to book a plane ticket recently, things have changed. It's spreading. The fallout from this is spreading. Let's go on. Topaz, which is TPZ in Toronto, TPZEF on the OTC market.
Yeah, and again, look at their year-over-year chart, $23 just yesterday from $14 a year ago. They generate free cash flow off of their assets and royalties. They put out numbers just a couple of things just recently, 24-cent dividend. So again, if you're a dividend-seeking investor, that's a pretty big number. They're generating 91% free cash flow margin on their assets, so things like that. Again, you're just seeing massive numbers from these companies that are producers and not the explorers, but the producers. So you're seeing these big numbers, and again, 24% dividend if you're a dividend-seeking investor,
which is always attractive in this environment. Let's go to Meg Energy, another one that we've touched on in the past, but. I mean, again, all of these, opportunities in a space on lower priced end of things that still could be moving in the right direction.
Yeah, and again, that was the reason actually that I was having a chat with somebody yesterday, and I was talking about Meg, and I was surprised it was up 8%. He's like, Meg still has room to go, and I was like, really, Meg's got room to go at 8% up. It's sitting at $22. He's like, yeah, no, 100%. It was $7 a year ago.
Yeah,
right?
Unbelievable.
So you look at stuff like that. Again, they're continuing to pay down their debt. A lot of these guys have put out their Q1 numbers, exceptionally strong Q1 numbers. I think we'll continue to see that with some of these mid-tier producers.
Yeah, BTE, the last one here, BTEGF on the OTC market. I don't think I mentioned the first one, which is PTRUF, which is that Petrus on the OTC market.
Yeah, Baytex is another one. Again, people are still assuming there's still some room to go here. Sitting at just around 690 now, is about $1.90 a year ago. So you would have made a nice clip if you'd have grabbed it a year ago. But again, they put out their numbers for Q1, exceptionally strong Q1. They actually upped their guidance, which typically doesn't happen in a smaller cap stock, but they upped their guidance and are doing the share buyback as well. So again, if you're looking at those things, look at the news that these companies are putting out around their Q1 and what their capital plans are. And a lot of them, you'll notice, are saying one of two things: dividends or share buybacks. So keep an eye on those two things.
Yeah, exactly. Regardless of, a lot of people have a lot of opinions on where crude oil is going. If you look at the individual companies and the progress they've made over the past 6, 8, 12 months, it's impressive regardless of what oil has done.
Right.
All right. You are a huge horse racing fan.
I am.
This is
the best time
maybe
of the year.
the biggest weekend for horse racing.
Yeah.
Tell us your thoughts about what is to come.
Yeah, it is the start of the Triple Crown weekend. It is my favorite time of the year. You sit around, you sing My Old Kentucky Home, and you have a mint julep, and everything is good. On the first Saturday in May, we got a good race looking this year. Coming out of the one spot, Mo Dongle. If it had been in a different spot, would have been probably the favorite. Good pedigree, 3-0-2. In its last 5 races, so three wins, 2 thirds, and in its last 5 starts. So would have been a better horse. Number 1 spot's always a little dangerous for these horses. Messier is a Canadian-based name, probably related to Mark Messier. Great speed. Bob Baffert was the original owner. Bob Baffert got in trouble last year and has been banned from a lot of races. So his protege has taken over Messier. So. Look at their Crown Pride is a Japanese horse. The Japanese horses did really well in Dubai a few weeks ago, but no horse that ran and won in Dubai has won in Kentucky. So very interesting there as well. Taiba is going to be an X factor for sure. Only had 2 starts, but 2 wins. So if you are a horse racing guy, look at Trainer, obviously, and look at the jockeys, guys with good pedigree, because that's where you're going to put your money.
And this is Saturday or Sunday?
Saturday.
Saturday
at 6:57 p.m. Not that I care.
There we go. There we go. Your horse racing update, guys, on Trader TV. Rahim Alani, Managing Director of OCI Groups here in Toronto. We appreciate it, as always.
Anytime, sir.
Guys.
Had me at Messier there. That's pretty cool.
Yeah, Mark. Yeah, I put my money on there just from the hockey standpoint of things. But yeah, I'll always look. Great time of year. Raheem definitely dresses the part. So
yes.
Yeah.
Although, the ladies wear the hats. Right?
Yeah, I don't think he's gonna be wearing a hat.
Probably not.
But
probably not.
Yeah, no, big time, and some big names there too, right? I mean, that's the thing. It was interesting about the travel names there. We have Air Canada here in Canada. If you guys are looking at that, AC there, a good name. We know Delta. A lot of these names have reported some big time draw ups in their passenger usage. So let's see where that goes. I still worry about, you know how much diesel's up in the last year?
Randy's the one that's complaining about. He just
75% in 1 year. So anyways, I'm a little nervous about fuel prices for that industry, but again, they hedge out of those. So new position for me though. Right now we got Datadog dip down. We really like this name, breaking through 120. This is another name that's on the sticky note right there. So we'll take Datadog long right now, and it's nicely in the money. It's printing about $1 right now for us in the money. And then AMD is still making a move to the downside. So we have a short right now, 98.50, and we just covered a little bit there at 98.10 or so as we're coming back in. So right now we're going to hopefully go 2 for 2 early here, but we don't have any plans of getting out. I may take a piece out here 123 for Datadog, but I still think we have room to 130. So let's try to hold out, actually. Let's wait for 125 right now. A nice little trade here for Datadog, as it's $1 plus right now in the money. So we'll hit the alarm again for this one. Thanks to everyone in the chat alerting me that Datadog had broken above that level that we like there. Wow. I mean, sometimes when I put on shares in the pre-market, I'm like, why am I trading this? And why did I use so many shares? And now I obviously wonder why I used so little. So nice move here for Datadog long, AMD short. You see it there on the board, Brendo.
All right, here's some analyst moves for you this morning. Yeah, a lot of big names back on the board once again. I mean, nothing huge on the upgrade side this morning, but one we talked about earlier in the week, Airbnb to the downside once again. There's Lyft and Uber. Twitter here as well. I mean, it's not going to move a heck of a lot, as we've said, because of the deal that's in place with Elon. But positive news anyways, once again, guys, for Twitter.
That's so sick. Oh man,
This
him
chat-
taking his kid to the Preakness
That's what you
here.
got to
What
do,
is
man.
going on
Get
even
them
here?
started early,
Yeah,
apparently.
good name. And we
That
love
is the
having
way to
Raheem
go
in the
there.
building. The finest dressed man around. We're going to belly dance one off right now because there goes Datadog. Thank you so much to everybody in the chat, man. It's a hot dog firing kind of day. 124, holy shoot. It was just $3 in the money right there. Let's put some offers. Like, I should have been sitting there. I was just like, wow, this is starting to take off right now. 124. It's like as soon as we get in there, this name is rocking. So Datadog right now, $3 in the money in the pre-market, but let's make an offer so we can get out if it spikes up there one more time. That was 124 flat there, 124.12. Let's stick an offer somewhere here and see if we can get filled. We're going to pick an ECN that's printing. It looks like them all. NASDAQ, ARCAs, all that. So let's see if we can get Datadog back up to the upside. Wow, that was a good little print up there. But we got to take advantage of it. This could easily fall back down. Remember, when you're in something in the pre-market, you know, it's just such a slippery slope because just as easy as it goes up there, it just takes one big order to come in and say, oh, I'll take the 3 or 4%. And then it's next thing you know, it's right back into these levels. So let's take a little bit of profit here on Datadog. But again, this is written on the sticky note here that we like this quarter and we like that break. So hopefully if the market can rally a little bit, then we will get a Datadog hero play. I wrote down here 130 is where we could possibly get to today. So that's why I was sort of waiting for higher highs here. But we just had a nice move there. We got to get some offers out.
Yeah, the other note with Datadog is they did make an acquisition. So the part of the reason why you might have had the down print is if you announce any kind of a deal in earnings season, that you're going to get that extra move to the downside because you're essentially spending capital at a time when you want to be a little bit more frugal, or at least people perceive that. So a lot of times that can cloud earnings. Shopify also made an acquisition. You're going to see them. Their call is ongoing, but it's not really doing a heck of a lot just yet. But not a heck of a lot is a $10 to $15 range in the pre-market. So you got to keep that in mind on a $400 stock. And that's why a little bit of patience. I like to short up to 440 and maybe even 430 off the open. I said if the stock was under whatever, it doesn't even matter. Like the fact that it couldn't get through the 490 yesterday, if it wasn't good, it was probably going to plummet, and that's what happened here. I just think they have a lot of trouble. Monster levels on the daily chart that it's caught a bit off of this 410, but this is definitely one where I don't care what spread you see, one print and it goes from $1. I saw $10 this morning, so you know you're risking $10 on every single trade you make in Shop.
All right, let's get a check of the overall market here. We'll bring in a room brought to you by, once again, the Small Exchange. Guys, check out thesmallexchange.com. Sign up for their free newsletter and research. Tons of great stuff at thesmallexchange.com. They're making it easier, so much easier to access futures trading with small, very simple contracts. No PDT rule, less capital required as well. Let's bring in Arun, or not. Looks like we're having some technical issues, guys. Give us 2 seconds. We'll try and get Arun hooked up here.
All right. Yeah, we'll still, you can see Datadog's come back in here. Just a quick little review. I see Neil's short on eBay. I like eBay today for the short. So this is going to be a name that, again, it's on the sticky note. If you can find it here, it's watch list. Well, you can just hashtag sticky note I'm thinking unless someone's stolen it, we should be the only ones here. But this is what we're talking about today. Huge move yesterday with the Fed. I feel that we fade today. Like, honestly, that was such a big move. And I mean, I said that we would fade today. The NASDAQ was like at 0.4, so now we've gone down even more from then. I feel like, I know this segment is going to be a Runes futures segment, but I feel like I should just be putting on some futures trades instead of all this other stuff here. But AMD, we look at that for 100. There's eBay, $50. We hit JPM yesterday, long, what was it, 122 or 123 into that move, or 124, whatever it was. We got out 127 there yesterday. I like JPM, and I like eBay at 50 with a couple notes here. So we'll put this, let me know, guys, when it's good. I mean, my earpiece is working. We will be able to, nowhere close. Okay, great. All right, so that was good. I'm glad we fixed that yesterday. But right now, we'll just look at that. So that's going to be my sticky note right now. We will have a look at eBay. And the reason why, again, eBay yesterday, not great news, man. Down 13% year over year users, or quarter over quarter. That's not good, man. Like, you don't want to lose users. We saw what happened to Facebook when their daily active users was actually to the upside, right? eBay downside. So I don't like that move. Obviously, it's a big move down to 54, but you had a good move yesterday off the Fed up to 54.20. Now a fade right back in down to 51. So we got to watch out for all this stuff here on eBay. I think that 50 level, I mean, it's held. So we're going to try to be as patient as we can. My out is going to be 52.50. So you got to bring it all the way up here to see if it happens again there for eBay. So we're going to have to watch out for that 52.50 level. I'm going to start. I have an offer for a good amount of shares here at 51.50. So if we can get into this area somewhere near there for eBay, then I want to see it pop and then the drop. So that's kind of what we're looking for. AMD is right now is cruising, man. We have a beautiful trade on right here, 55 cents in the money and still going to the downside. We have 3 times the shares on AMD that we did on Datadog. But look, we were celebrating Datadog up to 125. Now the market's falling back down, and Datadog goes back down to 120. So I am trying to get longer down here into the 119s, into this area, in case we do fall. I feel like just a little bump up in the market and we get right back up there. Silly for me not to have that trade out. I wasn't expecting it to pop minutes after we took it. But Datadog right there, nice little move to the downside. Now you're going to have to watch out for this 118 maybe level. And then if you bring it all the way down, maybe 114, 113 for your ultimate, downside move. So watch out for Datadog. Maybe it's not as great as we thought, but I still like the name and want to get longer if we do dip. And then AMD continues its move to the downside, man. Like 96.50, 97, like these are kind of the names, the levels that I'm thinking that we're going to be able to play off of AMD. Otherwise, oh man, darn it, still going down. Really was hoping that we would test back here 99.50, and that's exactly what we wrote down on this sticky note right here, was that if we want to look at it, was that we wanted to put a big trade on if we got near that 99.50, but right now it's not looking anywhere like that. So hopefully continues to fall down here for AMD. What's up, Brendo?
All right, let's get into what else everyone needs to know heading towards the open here. Under 30 minutes to go before we get the market open on a Thursday. That's going to be an interesting one. That's a link to the watch list, guys. Miss V is in the chat. She will have that for you if you do want it. Every single morning comes out before we come on at 8:30. Let's talk about the banks here. We touched on it a little bit with Raheem there on this side of the border, but we saw impressive moves, to say the least, guys, right across the board for the big banks after that half-point move from the Fed yesterday.
Yeah, absolutely. Just an update. I did get into eBay. I'm only giving it 51.50, and 1-to-1 is the first profit target there. You can pick and choose any bank pretty much across the board. Raising rate environment is going to be good for them, but I think some of the concerns about the economy overall would have been weighing on a lot of the banks. And you got that nice move up. And we talked about a lot of things moving up, and I'm looking at Wells Fargo here in particular just because of how clean this is, making a hard bottom, breaking out, and then getting to first resistance yesterday and not breaking through. Now, I could pull up a chart of the Qs and show you the last time we had this setup. Overall, the market, the ES is the same thing. You broke the previous week's highs in the overall market when we had the first rate hike, and then you dipped into it and ran again. And a lot of times we're running into levels here, and AMD is an example of this, NVIDIA is an example of this, and there's a lot of these, where you got up to that recent high, and now we've gapped and faded below it. In the case of the banks, they're so beaten up that I do like some dip buys in here. Like the bottom of this channel, 44, 42.5, I definitely like the dip buy. But then it sets up for just a monster level here at this 46 in particular, and across the board for a few of these other names. So that can be shorted in a pop. If we break out and hold a bit above it, then you're clearly in a breakout long with a lot of room. But until that level breaks, you have limited upside to resistance. That means preferred buying dip in front of 44 even. I'm picking Wells Fargo simply because how I like the chart. It's just, I love that 46 level. It's the cleanest one that I could find. So if we get above and hold 46, great. Yeah, there's your breakout long opportunity. But until we do, I'm shorting in front of 46. I'm long in front of that previous low, that 44 and a quarter.
That's too bad. I flipped over to Datadog because I got filled there. Then I went back and I lost my JP Morgan trade there. But it was here from yesterday. That's what we had. We had the 124 right there into Fed as soon as that was announced. Came back down. We found that 124 level, and then it ripped to 127, where we wound up getting out on a 127 break back down. So we took that $3 or $4. I've said for weeks now, since the bank earnings came down, that we wanted to get long banks, and we just sort of wanted to see what was happening with some of their reports and things like that. Well, guess what? They were pretty good, but the bank still fell. When JP Morgan broke that 125 there, we tested 120. That was a gift to have bought that. I'm going to be buying JP Morgan. The Canadian banks have also fallen down. So I think in these rate environments, I mean, just right now, they went up to what, 4% there on the lending rate for the banks yesterday. So they make money in this environment for sure. I still feel like fintech is going to be a big story for a lot of these banks. It's not that hard to create an app to throw out there. That's why you're seeing names like PayPal, PaySafe, Square, and some of the upstarts, some of these big fintech names, because I really feel like even Rocket Mortgage, or Rocket Companies, I guess, some of these names just getting absolutely hit. And the reason why is I don't think it's rocket science, and as I say that to Rocket Companies here, that you could just get in there and sort of duplicate some of these businesses. So I expect that to happen with a lot of these big banks, making it easier, more consumer friendly. I mean, look at Rocket Companies here. We went crazy there, and I was part of this, so I was really happy with it. I mean, it's been fine. I still hold the common, a little bit of it anyways, and it's just gotten crushed all the way down to $99 here. So you got to watch out for a lot of these companies. I'd rather just sit in the traditional banks, grab that 3 to 4% dividend, and watch that money just come in on the monthly basis there. I guess it's quarterly on the dividend there. So I like the banks. I think if you're going to start to dollar cost average, now is no better time, because I don't really see too many headwinds for them. So I like all the banks right now, and I would just start with the biggest there, JP Morgan. I am an investor in Goldman as well. So those are the two U.S. banks. Yeah, I mean, that's what I say. Canada banks, they've been getting clocked as well. So you could pick your poison on any of those banks.
All right, let's go to Shopify. Interesting look here for Shopify to start things off, to say the least, to the downside this morning. They picked up this Deliverer cash and stock deal worth $2.1 billion. So that comes out as a part of the earnings release this morning. 22% jump in quarterly revenue, not bad. 20 cents on the EPS, missed though by a significant margin, 45 cents, guys. So to the downside for Shop.
Yeah, I mean, look, Shopify is. It's one of the poster childs for what happens when you have a relatively expensive stock, and then what can happen to you on the daily when you get a raising rate environment. I'll try to go back. Yeah, okay, it's going to load up all the way. I'll try to go back far enough so you can see. It's just been an absolute and abject disaster for it. It's now found this 410 to 400 bottom, and if it gets through that, suffice to say, it's a significant gap to the downside. It's a pretty significant level. You have to go so far back, and my chart doesn't want to load that far this morning. But 410 is a monster level. It's a short till it's not for me. I understand it's down 15%, and I got away from that notion with regards to Uber and Lyft. I kept trying to I shorted them both yesterday, but I did try longs maybe a few too many times before just saying, hey, look, man, if it does not take out the first resistance it puts in on these gaps down, a lot of times you just got to make sure you're getting into that trade to the south side and play with the momentum. We get through 400, and you're just talking psychological levels. We've seen this story over and over again, and there's almost like no such thing as too far for some of these names. It's not one of those heavily shorted where you're going to think about, okay, is there going to squeeze to the upside? But it has come down far enough that there would be people out there that see that value buy. I like the 440 level for sure. The 425 level has now found good resistance even as the call came in here. So I'll probably play off the 425 at the open and then have a secondary trade-off of 440 to the south side. If 400 breaks, watch out below.
Yeah, I haven't really looked at Shopify here. You know, it's not going to be too liquid to trade, but you know, another Canadian tech company getting creamed right now to the downside. So we'll have to watch over Shopify. We've talked about how scary. I bought Shopify. I was just trying to log in to see. I wasn't able to, but see where I bought it. But it's been a long time watching that stock, and I'm not interested in it anymore. Obviously, let's just let it fall down. I'm not even putting any more money into that name. It's been a bad one. But AMD there, we just took another out there at 86 off of our short 48. So 64 cents or so winner there on AMD, and then we're just sitting in Datadog. Like, there's nothing we can do. We have to wait for this market to open up. The spread is $1 on this name, so I don't consider it anything to talk about right now. We still have that 123. I'm still waiting for 114 as an ultimate sort of destruction area right there. You can see the NASDAQ, man, and this is what the shitty thing is. It's like, I know we didn't have Arun today, but like I sat down here and it's all over my sticky notes, short Apple, short AMD, all this kind of stuff. And meanwhile, you know, we should just be shorting the market. Like, that's what I talked about, was too far of a move on the Fed. We talked about that on the sticky note. It's the first note there yesterday that was too far of a move. We got clocked shorting everything yesterday into that. We tried to short Microsoft all yesterday, and then now you're going to see here, you know, now look where Microsoft is, 286, sorry, when we made these highs yesterday. Let me see if it even shows look at all these shorts in here, like into 290. These are all shorts. It's okay, it doesn't look that bad because we wound up taking most of them out, but still losing into here only to come right back in today. So, you know, our last position was at 288. We did take out to 290. So yeah, I'm thinking that the market can fade back in. I don't know if we go all the way back to 280 on a Microsoft, but I'm definitely excited about AMD. Hopefully we get a rip back up and we can short this 99.50 or 99 and take it back to the bank, to the downside here. So hopefully that'll be the play there. And then if Datadog, you know, once it opens up, we'll see where it goes. But quick check on the imbalances, and the imbalances are nothing. I don't have any New York trades on right now, but NEO is there as a sell. Again, another name that went huge yesterday. I mean, everything went huge. Ford is there as well. There's Alibaba on the sell side. So again, we're still with 20 minutes to go. I don't expect these imbalances to grow. I mean, they'll grow. I mean, some of these will double, but the fact that there's not that much size here right now is probably just a telltale sign that it's not going to be too eventful off the open here for a lot of these names. But remember, the NASDAQ comes at 925. So those are the names that I'm most concerned about. Look at this, man. The market down 1.27%. We had that short. Look at oil right now. Rip City on oil up to 111. So my XLE, all the energies, man. I own Enbridge, XLE, XOM. That's about it. Valero I own from a hell of a long time ago, but that's a small position. We talked about Valero yesterday as well. Check out VLO. I mean, I don't even know what it did yesterday. If you're joining us for the first time today, yeah, 129 right now. I mean, this name has just gone crazy to the upside here, Valero. We talked about the price of diesel and refining and all that kind of stuff. Look at Valero. Just nice move over the last little while from 95 all the way up to 130. It's continuing its move to the high side here. So I think you got to stay long all these energy names. I chose ZEO instead of XLE because I had more cash in Canada. But right now, there's eBay. So we got a nice little eBay short. Okay, now we're putting on some trades right now. eBay, oh man, damn it. Why am I in this position
again?
Some
guy just bought 1,000 at 51.40 on
yeah,
eBay.
Good thing he did because I needed that fill. So now we'll see if we can get it back in. Here we go. eBay, let's not screw this up and get something on the bid. I have a big position right now. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, as more people join us, I would love to welcome everyone and to remind you to like this video. Please help us to get at least 1,000 likes before the bell for a good day. Brandon?
All right. Yeah, that oil move, guys, coming on. Note from the White House. Apparently, CNN's reporting the White House planning to buy 60 million barrels of oil. There was also a note from OPEC. The latest announcement from OPEC looking like modest output boost despite the current rally. So a huge, huge move in crude oil there. Let's go on to Twilio, though. Nice report for Twilio, one of the few that are to the upside, guys, after earnings.
Oh, yeah. We just took out some 25s right there on that one. So we're going to go, oops. Oh, I thought I hit the countdown there by accident. Oh my God, that would have been a problem. There's eBay short right now, so we did take that short. We talked about this again. This is on our sticky note, literally at this level. So there it is. We just got another fill short out of our short there on eBay. We're gonna hold this. Come on, baby, let's go, eBay. I might just cancel this 51 bid. We can get this back down to the downside here, 50.90 maybe there. We'll take some 51s if it's gonna give it to us. But there's eBay to the downside, and I apologize. Not sure what name Brendan brought to us there.
No, it was just oil right there, and I quickly looked over. Oxy, by the way, is at a big 63 level. If it dips, I'm hoping it dips from that, because if I can get Oxy at 62 on a dip buy, I do want to put that on. Someone asked in the chat, is it time to short oil? I mean, I don't think so, but I'm not an oil trader. But I'm looking for a dip buy in Oxy, and if it gets to 63, that could definitely run. Look, eBay. This is a trade that if you look at the bottom here at 48, and then that 50 resistance or support level as well, like there's room to 48 on this stock. So if it's in this bottom channel, and you can sort of see the 52 on the daily, if it's in this bottom channel, I'm short in front of it. The 1-to-1 is at $50, and then 48 is the ultimate target. So until it gets to that price, if I'm putting up $1, I got to make $1. But Occidental, which is I think we were just talking about oil, this comes in play. And anytime you get moves like this, you can see the top that Oxy's been putting in up here. This is a quadruple top up just above this 63 area. So it is a monster high. Warren Buffett just bought more shares of it because that's what they do. And it's really, really strong. I think if we dip off of this level, I want to be buying that dip. It's going to be 62.25, 62.50 at the open. But wow, if Oxy can get through this, it could go gangbusters. Just the one that I quickly looked at because I knew it had that overhead resistance. And we're right there, quadruple top.
The chart of crude oil here, guys, 3% currently. Heavy volume, though, coming in on that note again. CNN reporting the White House going to restock their stockpiles, I guess, 60 million barrels to be purchased by the U.S. It was Twilio we were talking about, guys, TWLO.
Oh, okay.
I own these shares. I have no idea. I haven't looked at it at all today. Twilio, it's good. Hopefully be a good stock to trade. It's obviously on the New York here. It was a great IPO. I'm long this name like $30, $32, something like that. We were able to get some out. I thought this went to like $300 or $400, Twilio. So again, yeah, there it is. So I've already this is down to 122. You want to talk about like just getting absolutely killed downside. But like when I was long $30 and this thing went up to 400, yeah, we cashed them out of Twilio. So it's been a great investment for me. I know nothing about the report, so I'm going to stay away from it today. As you can see, it's only up 3%. It's been so beat down. I don't know. I don't have much to say about that. I'm in Datadog right now, which is going to the downside. eBay is just a killer trade right now. Datadog the opposite, but Twilio. I like the product. I like them all, but again, a company that's not making any money, really overvalued there at these high side. And now you're coming back in. All of these names, I don't even want to look at them until they break through their 50 period. So we still have a little ways to go. What just printed there? twos. Okay, that's good for us there on eBay. So that's a good trade for us on that one. But yeah, Twilio, I'll be out of that one today. Bigger fish to fry for me.
125 on Twilio. Like that's kind of the price here. If you can get above that, there's room to 130. If you can't take it at the open, it's up that 3%. They did have a nice beat. The revenue was actually pretty good in the report, and that's probably why they get the gap up. But if you don't take out that 125, I think you're probably heading back into 118, especially if the market goes into sell mode. So that's an open curl that I like. But if it gets through 125, like that's your stop out area. Through that price, you're not really holding anything. And the volume's not gigantic, so I would expect that you could see some fireworks at 930. Expect a big spread and a wide range because there's not a ton of liquidity here on a lot of these names that we're looking at.
Decent move to the downside here for Tesla, guys. Green to red, in fact, for Tesla on a note that Elon Musk is apparently going to serve as temporary CEO of Twitter when this deal closes. So that just out. So that sent Tesla straight to the downside. Let's go on to chip stocks, another group that benefited heavily late in the day yesterday on that move in the entire market post-Fed. But there are some cautionary notes out this morning on a few of them, including AMD, with a couple of price target cuts.
So Sean's already in AMD. I like the 100 level as well. I just want to short closer to it. But NVIDIA, which I feel like we've been ignoring it a little bit too much the last little bit, and it moves around just as nicely. It did the same thing as the rest of the market here, trying to get through this 204. That's the level the last couple of weeks it can't chew through, and it even held the lower high at 202 in the pre-market just now. So 202 to 204, that's a great target area for short if it reverses all the way, which it's done. Count it up, 1, 2. 3 times significantly all the way and giving you $15, but really it's actually rejected this, 4 or 5 times at that price range. If it makes it 6, then I'm going to be involved. If this clears 204 and holds a bit above it, we've been saying every day there's like $20 worth of range, but it has to clear it, and it hasn't done so. So until then, you're still looking to short off of these highs in NVIDIA. It's pretty obvious that if you get down into the mid to high 80s, that has been pretty good support, but we're far enough away from that you cross that bridge when you get to it.
Yeah, I just like AMD. I mean, it's at a key level of $100, so I mean, it doesn't get any keyer than that, I guess, when you're at an even dollar level. So, I like the name here. We've talked about that. I'm trying to get some more out, actually. There we go. We just got filled up there at 83 there. Another piece. So we've been short this name. Not a huge position right now, just like Neil mentioned, and just like it's on the sticky note. We want to wait for this 99.50 to come through. Looks like it's probably not going to. I don't really have. My next bid is at 97.50. I'm even going to cancel that one. This is just a huge move upside. The market, Jerome Powell didn't say anything other than he took the 75 basis points, not even off the table. He just said, it's not really looking at it right now. Doesn't mean they're not going to do it. He didn't say no. So that's something that could still happen. The market ripped on him yesterday, which is exactly what the Fed wants. I told you that these guys have our back, but the market, is its own beast. And today, it won't trade off Powell. That was yesterday. So it was a nice bump up there, and we've seen AMD just getting shellacked the last couple days here. Not the last couple days. The last couple days have been good since we made that bottom at 85. But look at this move all the way to the downside. Not much has changed there. We have the jobs report tomorrow coming out. So, that's just another data point here. So let's just wait to see. But there's 100. If you don't want to short this, that top, that's really 101. But, either way, we're looking at 100, and I'm going to die on that sword today if it does come back up to that side. So we're going to wait for that to happen. If it does, great. We'll be averaged in. We've already taken out some nice profits on this name. We're 60 cents in the money right now off the short. You can see it on the board right there. Wish we had more shares. We don't. But again, that's fine. That's why we're just taking it out. As it's coming back in, hopefully it rips up and we can and will reload that and hopefully get the shot at 99 and change because that's where we want to take it.
All right, here's a note, guys, from CNBC, in fact, on that move in Tesla and Twitter currently to the downside. CNBC reporting Elon going to be CEO temporarily once the deal is done. Let's go on to big tech, another group that made a huge move yesterday to the upside with the overall market. Apple, it's going to be important if the market's going to hold any kind of levels today for these two as well.
Yeah, big tech is obvious. We've seen what happens when Microsoft and Apple, I guess both of ththese names, don't hold things up. But for now, they're basically pretty much at where we consolidated before that secondary break at 3 o'clock. I think 3 o'clock is when things got really juicy to the upside, and Microsoft's holding 286. I'm not terribly concerned with Microsoft in particular till you get down to that 280 level. If we get down here, where we were on that dip. I always talk about those Fed prices. On the dip, 280 was the support level, maybe down to 78 or something like that, but the real bid came in at that price. If we see that today and break it, I think you're in a bit of trouble. We're far enough away from it that I'm not terribly concerned we're going to see it. And we're in the middle of the range overall. I don't necessarily love for a trade. I did want to quickly talk about Tesla. I don't think it's good news. Obviously, if Elon's going to be part-time CEO or whatever he wants, and watch out HYMC making a run at that high of the day, $2 stands in the way of that as well. But I don't think Elon has any trouble when it comes to access to good quality talent. So I don't think he'll be temporary CEO for very long, but the market doesn't like it. And of course, that's the wrong Tesla. That's the real Tesla. And so, yeah, they're trying to sell it off. I'm going to like 925, 920, something along those lines. But you cannot write off the fact, if there's any pop and a failure at 950, you almost have to short that because it's just risk to reward at that particular point. But as you can see, right now they're selling on that news, and we just broke the low of the day.
Yeah, I mean, to me, Tesla, you just kind of chill out with that stock, right? I mean, this is obviously, if you're in Tesla, then you know all about the shenanigans that is Elon Musk. And you also know about the high quality. And you also do know that the minions come for Tesla. I love Tesla. I'm in this name. I mean, I'm in this name. I mean, a lot of us. I don't want to just say me. I mean, there's a lot. Apparently, Jude Fernando's in this name, super low. I'm in this name, super low. There's a lot of people that have been Tesla believers for, you know, a decade now. And you could have got this stock crazy prices. So, you know, it's already split. I don't know. They've talked about splitting again on their last report, but I don't think that they've announced anything officially yet. But down there to 750 could test again, and could test 1200 again. So you're bouncing around here. I mean, if you're in Tesla, you kind of have to just go with the flow here. Watch out for all their earnings reports. They keep on beating more cars. I mean, we saw that video of the a drone there just pumping the cars out of Shanghai. And honestly, man, when China gets back on board, this company is just going to continue to work. So I think there's so much to get from a lot of other EV names with Tesla that they're so far behind these guys with as far as battery, as far as supply chain, as far as actually producing something that I think this is a winner for a very, very long time. I'm not a buyer at any of these levels. I'd rather see it come back down because like I just mentioned there, what just filled there? eBay. Crank City to the downside right now for eBay as that goes down there. Wow, okay. We just got a beautiful fill there at 50.80 on that name. Wow, okay. That just puts the net doing a little better there. So mind the D-Dog trade, but loving this eBay trade. That is moving around right now, baby. We just got a 50.80 print. I wish we were a little bit lower on that one, but we still think lower coming for eBay. It's moving around here, Brendo. But I think you're fine with Tesla. It's a great to-day trade. Just don't panic at these levels. Have your ids, have your outs. If you're in eBay, man, it's going to be, or if you're in Tesla, it's going to be a wild ride probably forever. So deal with it, and Elon's just going to keep being Elon. So what can you do?
Let's go to Hycroft Mining. Remember AMC's gold company? They reported better than expected earnings for HYMC. So we're getting back into this consolidation area on the daily chart. 2, then 225, and then the top end is going to be 275, 280. Above that, who knows? Could get up into these levels from the news announcement, but just broke the high for HYMC in the pre-market here. So this is 175, 180 support right now for Hycroft, guys.
Yeah, I'm into that one. I wanted to see if it would put a real break through that high. Got 1 cent and did not. So I'll add to it, but this is 9:30. So if it breaks the high of the day, it's an out. We always talk about that being willing to make the top wick. Twilio, it did make that first pop in, so I got the short in front of that 125. If it breaks 125, I'll be out of it. Tesla's catching a bit of a bid. I did want to quickly go to Rivian. We mentioned where Rivian got to yesterday being a significant level in that 34 to 35 range. And we're now well below, we're now below that. I shouldn't say well below. It's only $1 below that target range. But if Rivian tries to go back up here, talk about a stock that's rejected these price levels. Yeah, Rivian definitely fits. So anywhere from 33.50 to 34, I want to be on the short side of the trade. If you're looking at Sunrun, that was the other one. They actually had strong earnings. It's starting to gap back down here. But Sun, trying to get through that 50 period. If it can hold a bit above 27, I think that's your real go sign. Any dip, you're looking at 25 on Sunrun. If this comes down to 25 and consolidates, that's where I'd be looking to maybe play that strong earnings that they had. But 27, very, very key level. I mean, off the open, unless it's holding above that bid, I don't want to be a buyer. I'd only be a buyer at 25 even. I got 3 shorts on. Looking for Tesla after that news for a curl off 950. I wasn't really thinking too heavily that'd be the short, but after we saw that little bit of a dip, if we break the high from yesterday, then you got to give up that ghost.
Like, I'm upset already, and the market hasn't even opened yet because, like, all of this talk that I had about going short today is literally now, like, look where Apple is, man, 163.50. Like, this is crazy. Like, we wanted this short. Look at this long we had yesterday at 160, by the way, right when the Fed, well, that's at 230 there, ripped it all the way to 166 there. That was a good trade for me for Apple for sure. We only lost really shorting Softy the whole way, but now look what's happening, man. I don't even want to look to see where Microsoft is right now. Apple got to take this short as well. If we pop off the open, we're only right now 90 seconds away from the opening bell here. I'm going to try to short this if it pops back to 165, but right now, Apple getting Clock City right here. AMD, I mean, let's ring the Reggie on that one right now. Money coming through on AMD right now. We just touched 50, so that's a dollar in the money right now on AMD. So, yeah, good. The only problem is we have to wait for Datadog. I like Datadog here, but again, with the NASDAQ just fading out, man, this is a big tech company that is not going to work in a fading market. So that's a little nervousness there. Obviously, that move down on eBay was at 925. I should have realized that I probably had something to do with these imbalances. I don't see it on here, but at the same time, that's what that was. So we're getting ready to rock and roll. I'm going to put some shorts out for Apple up there near 165 in case we get that pop.
Yeah, exactly. Ms. V is going to be on the bell here. The market is to the downside, of course. It was a huge run up, so we haven't given it all back, but we are down 1% pretty much across the board. I'll be watching Tesla after Elon news. Definitely going to be on that radar. HYMC, and don't sleep on AMC. That had a big run, and it's got some good resistance that will definitely, support that we'll definitely talk about in the event that there is a little bit of a dip. But you've got a lot of these names in play. Shopify, by the way, very close to those lows. Oh my goodness, if it takes out 400, that could get very, very ugly. The same way we saw Uber and Lyft look pretty dismal in yesterday's trade. It is Thursday. Let's get this party started. The countdown is on. 5, 4, 3, 2, and Ms. V, ring it.
All right, we are now open. Thank you, Ms. V. Let's watch out for what Apple wants to do here. The market, I think we get faded out here on this market. So there it is, AMD trying to go. The market just looks nuts right now. We do have a bid on AMD at, no, we don't, actually. This is just going down far. We don't even have any bids yet. Look at AMD, Tank City right now, down $1.40 now in the money on AMD. Nice little trade here for Datadog as well, as that's coming right back up. Let's take a piece out. Datadog, 50 cents in the money.
Yeah, Twilio immediately gave me like a $2, about $1.70 for the winner, and we'll try to reload it in front of 125, but bigger fish to fry is Tesla. It's trying to make this pop into 950 in the weak market, and if we can get there, this is a pop and fade that I wanted to have. So got to be a little bit focused on Tesla here to try and catch the curl, but we are falling off here in Twilio. HYMC's falling, but going the other way is going to be, there it is, yeah, eBay. That just ticked out through the high, so I'm out of eBay and looking for this Tesla. 945 has size on the offer.
Man, we just killed it on Datadog, man. That just went right back to the upside. We got a 122 print there on Datadog. Let's hold and see if that still wants to work. This is why we got some out on eBay. See, now it's coming. Yeah, let's go. eBay right back down to the downside right now. Man, we want to get short. Ooh, I was waiting at 51.90, no? Oh, yeah, we were waiting at 51.90 for a big order. That went to 51.85. There we go. We just got another bid on eBay there, 51.20. So hopefully that can come down. Look at what the damage we did right there on AMD today. So there we go, man. I was pissed off yesterday about the shorts, but today we are not. We are taking that in, man. Lunch money right there on the shorts today. Nice little move to the downside. We don't get our 99.50s, but we get 98.50, and we're downside right now. $1.50 in the money right now on this name. Flat on eBay, but more pain to come for this name. And then Datadog, lucky to get that out on the upside. Now let's see if we take out day's high 125 Datadog. Your boy's pretty happy with this trading so far here.
Yeah, Twilio now absolutely dying. Looks like it just went through that 120, now heading to 118, so we're about 5 in the money on this. I'll ring the register, just got some Tesla out there. As that curl off that 945, we got a 44 short on. HYMC starting to come back into the downside. As for targets on Twilio, it just turned red on the session, so if we get down to like a 110 to 112 range, that would be the target we're looking for. But HYMC, this is the other one that AMC is purchasing, if you remember. It tried to take out the highs. You can sort of see that there. Anytime there's a failed break on a roll at the open, I want to make sure we're taking some profit in front of these first support levels, right? Like if it does not, like what do you see? If we hold support down here at 178, you're retesting that top. So you want to make sure you're banking some profit on the way down. But wow, Tesla with a bit of a curl there. I don't know what, well, I do know what AMD did because I heard you. NVIDIA, also, it looks like it went to 195 at the open there. I mean, I didn't have level 2 up, so if it did that drop, the tech names, the chip names falling like an absolute rock, but everything I'm looking at is falling like a rock. So it's one of these mornings.
Yeah, it sure is, man. There it is. Yes, sir.
Is that a real
eBay
film?
downside right there. Yeah, wow. eBay just touched 50.80 there on the downside. We're waiting at 50.50 to take out a piece, more of a piece here on eBay. We did also, I mean, look at AMD, guys. AMD is now $3, $2.50 now in the money on the downside, and we did put on an Apple trade as well right there at 163.70. That's now down to 163 flat. So let's go over to Brendan. We'll get some more out on, or get something out on Apple here if we touch through that 163. What's up, B?
A couple things. Vimeo, VMEO, halted on a volatility halt, guys. Back to the upside after earnings disappointed. Also, Nikola having quite the day, up 11.5%, as they reported a huge loss, but said production has begun. So positivity for Nikola.
All right, we're about to get out of Apple here. If it just touches a little bit lower here into the 163 level, that should be a good trade. eBay now 50 cents in the money. We do now have some bids in case we get that flush back down in. I still like a 50 break, so we'll try to hold a little bit for that. If that can come through, great. But for right now, we got to wait. I can't believe I was 6 cents away from putting on a major trade there on eBay. I don't know if we're going to like it anymore, but that was close right there on eBay to getting into a nice one there. But okay, Apple doesn't look like it wants to go, man. I thought we had some bids out there. Where are my bids at 16? And for some reason, it's showing that it went as low as 15 there. So, okay, come on now. Now just fill me at 16. Come on, because we don't want to miss it by 1 penny, do we? Apple to the downside now. Hopefully we get that fill. Doesn't look like it wants to. I'm trying to short this into 165. So if we get a break of 165, we'll be out. So, you know, I'm trying to average in, but right now we'll scalp a piece out if we can get it, because we were just 70 cents in the money on this trade, but now we need it to print through 163 to get going. Datadog and NYSE still in the money. We've taken profits on that name. That's a good one, but we did not get out of Apple there. So now we have to reload this trade. We're willing to do this at like 164.20 or so is where we're waiting to reload on to Apple. Thank you, Miss V, for that one. Refreshed on the coffee here. Yeah, Apple, just the apple of my eye right now.
The apple of our eye. I love that one.
Yep,
And
yep.
Tesla, it'll be the apple of my eye, although that's a bad pun, if we can break this support. I mean, look, 937, it's only about 5 or 6 in the money, which for Teslas, that's your first scalp area. But if we break this, I think we are headed to that 925. And I get it. It's one of those situations where a long run, I don't think that's bad news for them. But when you fail off the top like this, if you fail off the top like this with that catalyst, I'm going to take a shot at it. HYMC has now gone right into the morning support at 177. I've taken over half of it out and want to hold the other half to see if we can break 175. If that happens, all bets are off for this stock. Catching a bid. Uber just came in and out pretty quickly. I had my stop set to, there it is, 28.50. So we shorted in front of that 28.50, and there goes Uber right through it. I'm going to make an assumption that Lyft is probably showing some strength as well. I can go to Twilio and HYMC and Tesla, but they're all running in the money right now. When we're talking about Lyft, this is holding, $22. So Uber broke out. Lyft has yet to do it, so relative weakness, I would say, in Lyft. If it can fade off of 22, that is the trade I'd like to put on. I'm just looking for shorts in a weak market. Uber broke, Lyft is not. Lyft now in playoff 22.
I like that
Did you
short
trade
side.
Lyft?
No, I didn't, but that was a name that I liked there for the short. We just look at this Datadog. I mean, we just got 122 again on Datadog, so we'll spin the money on that one. We've now made more money now in the first 5 minutes than we lost yesterday in that last 2 hours going short. So that's a good one, man, for us. We're just absolutely happy again today. Now, hopefully that frown does not turn upside down on this day, but we still need Apple to come back down to see if we can get that fill into one. Okay, come on, baby. Like, this day is going really good. Come on, let's get that. eBay to the downside as well. That's going to be a good trade for us. Just looking over here, AMD short, Apple short, D-Dog long, eBay short. That's it. That's 4 for 4 on here, right? We'll see what, oh yeah, baby. There goes Datadog right now. Nice little move to the upside. 122. I'm not dropping this. Now we have a position now. We've cleaned up on this name. Let's wait to see if it continues to take out some of these highs. We like Datadog on this name. We talked about it at 120. We got the average in down there at 119. Now you're starting to go again on Datadog. Wow, big day here for me, guys. Everything working out. We did get Bang, we got that Apple trade right now as well. So let's go, man. Little bit of an action spot here for me. Pretty happy with the way this trade and this day is going, man. $3, $2 in the money AMD, $4 in the money Datadog. Neil's got those shorts as well. So let's just keep on going, guys.
Yeah, I'm just trying to quick look at Tesla here. As I'm watching the NASDAQ, try to get back to what was the breakout price. So it was about 13.2 that we took out and then absolutely rallied here. That's hard to see. I'll go all the way for you guys. But before we made that rally, if we get back down in here to that 13.2 range and look for a bounce, that's a good place to think about profit taking at least a portion of some of your shorts. Now, when you got the trend going, you want to make sure you're holding on to some of this, but you got to take profit somewhere. Twilio is definitely one I want to hold on to longer. Lyft is testing the highs, but Tesla here is trying to catch a bit off 930 when I thought it would be 925. Was that Brendan?
Was.
Absolutely crushed off earnings, guys. SFM from the consumer discretionary names. 24 trying to hold right now, but down huge after their forecast missed as well.
Ooh, baby. Okay, AMD just continues to make that move. I was looking at this 96.50 as an area right there because I don't know. I mean, I want to hold on to it. The NASDAQ obviously down that 2% today, which we thought was going to happen. So that's good. We've definitely taken advantage of that today on the downside. But let's just see if AMD can take down that 96.50, man. And if it does, good. We like it. So here we go. AMD right now, 97. We're looking at that one. There's been a lot of profits, man, today. Twilio's been a good one. Tesla's been a good one. Datadog long has been good. AMD to the short side. Apple to the short side right now. And then eBay still cashing in on this one, man. But we're waiting for lower. Where did that just print? 60s? Okay, let's just put a bid in the 60s. I was waiting. Actually, I am waiting in the 60s. Okay, so we're here at 67. So hopefully this can come back in. We'll take another 70-cent win on this eBay trade, but more to come, man. It's only 10 minutes into this market.
Yeah, and it's one of these. Timber, we're going to the downside there. I took out Tesla here. It made it was close enough to 925, and I saw the futures trying to bounce off that level. I like the hold on Twilio, and I think it comes down to Twilio was a trade that I was looking at all morning long. Tesla was one, like after that news came out, I'm like, oh, I'll try the curl in Tesla too, because it sets up and there was that catalyst. So I'm not going to try to sit there and do anything more than the quick and easy scalp on Tesla. Look, if you can just get an easy 12 on the last of that, then no problems. But Twilio, this is one I thought had room down into this 110 to 112 range. And just given what this the damage is done and the tight range it's had off this bottom, anticipating that we can get down into these lows makes some sense to me. If this market wants to continue falling, once we're through 118, which we just got through there, it feels like there's an easy $4 or $5 down. HYMC, which is that small cap, that's the AMC gold play. I guess that's what we're calling it. It's right at that 170. If it takes out 170, gap fill. You see the gap? It'll fill the gap. Oh, well, it could fill the gap, I should say. Never talk uncertainties. So 150 to 160 would be the ultimate target. I will definitely get some in front of 65 and 60 as well. We didn't talk. I mentioned very quickly about Rivian. Okay, so that would have worked too, but Rivian never gave a pop into 34, but it has fallen like $3. Just about everything I'm looking at is diving, and good out on Tesla so far. It's bouncing off 930.
Yeah, this has been a good morning, man. eBay, we just got that fill in the 60s, like we mentioned that, so that's going to be a good one for us to the downside there. EBAY as well. AMD clocking as well to the downside right now as that. Oops, sorry, that's AMD. Yeah, sorry. We should have. Okay, now how many times do we have to see this? I'm going to put a bid now here. We got to get something out for eBay, man. We don't want this one to get out of hand. On AMD, 96.50 just keeps bouncing around there. I feel like that's going to be a decent out for us. What's up, Brendan?
We mentioned a couple of notes, guys, on both Uber and Lyft. Both super strong so far. Lyft just popping up through day highs on a volume alert there. So 3.5% now for Lyft.
Both of those two are like the shorts that did not work. It's like right in front of the key levels. I got a 90 in front of 22 on Lyft that just got stopped out there. And thank you guys in the chat for reminding us about Fisker, because Fisker's starting to miss a break. If you're looking for some strength out here, there it is. There's Fisker, there's Lyft and Uber also showing some signs of getting off the schneid. 11 obviously is a huge level for Fisker. Maybe bigger though is 1140 up here. So if it does reverse off either of those, you might be able to get a piece of the party on a bit of a dip buy. When I said Tesla looked like it was a good out there, again, just watching the futures, watching the levels on Tesla and the price action, I wanted 25s. It said 30s. We got out at 30. It's coming right back up to these highs. So you also want to make sure you're taking your profit and running when you get a chance. And speaking of run, Sunrun It just chewed. It tried to hold that 25 I liked and then said no mas. I just chewed right through it. This is giving up almost everything back. It goes red if it gets below 24.30. This is where it broke right at the end of the day. So if it can consolidate there, it was a decent quarter, but overall, it just can't seem to withstand this market weakness.
Doing some little bit of work here on Datadog. It went to 124, right? I still think we got a lot of money to be made here. Wow, AMD is just tank city. Look at some of these trades we've had on today where we're just going to do a fail in the NASDAQ. And honestly, man, our net is nice right now. I mean, you can't go Apple short now, $1 in the money. AMD 250. Wish we had more shares, but whatever. It's good. Datadog $1.70 in the money. eBay 70 cents in the money. So we're gonna go 4 for 4, all clean trades, man. All one ins too, right? One ins, multiple outs. That's how we continue to trade here for you guys. And there's eBay again, one in. We would have really been mooned if we had gotten that short there. We're a couple pennies away from it. The market could bounce back though at some point. We should look for some levels, but you know, the NASDAQ, as we had called today, man, downside moves for the NASDAQ today. It's on the sticky note, man. We talked about the Fed. That was too big of a move yesterday when not that much was really said. So a nice move to the downside. We're really happy with this. Everything working out. Datadog is a name I want to hold in case we get that rip, and I'm looking at 118 break. So we break 118 on Datadog, then that's when we'll get out of that name. But so far, so good on everything, man. I'm just going to wait for some pops. I like that Fisker. Maybe we'll go over to there.
Oddly enough, another name is strong. Twitter. Remember they got the good news? It looks like it is maybe worth it today. Up 4% now and screaming. Now, I thought it would establish the bid. I mean, it's not even establishing the bid. It's just running higher. If there's a dip, maybe it can make that bid at 50-50. I think every 50 cents is where I'd want to play it. If this one wants to come down, people are going to look for strength in the market. And the weaker the market is, the more appealing that locked-in 54 seems until October or possibly earlier. Brendo?
Another one bouncing here, guys. Cardinal Health reported, not good, to the downside in a big way, but straight higher since the open this morning for CAH.
Yeah, so CAH, man, that's 7%. I've seen that one all over the place. Usually pretty thin there. But I said it really quickly there. Like, think about it. If you think the market just made a bit of a temp high and comes down, the notion of locking in Twitter till 54 when the deal has to close by October 24th, if you can put a portion of your portfolio into something like that, assuming the deal goes through, it's not a bad annualized return. And it is relatively secure, especially that you had the good news today. Elon could always walk away from it, but hey, if he's securing more funding, that's definitely a good sign. You're seeing that strength reflected today. Twilio starting to really accelerate to the downside. It's now at that $8 mark. It's about to hit that 10. If we get in there, we're now at that 13.2 in the NASDAQ, or at least very close to it. That was that breakout level that we had. So as we approach the breakout level, if I'm at my target, like I did with Tesla, I'll make sure I go ahead and take it. HYMC has taken out the low. Looks like that one is failing as well. We didn't mention, we talked about Intel and, AMD and NVIDIA. Didn't mention Intel. It is relatively, if you can say that, it's relatively strong. The 45 level on Intel has been a pretty strong one. I'm going to buy a dip in front of it, but if it cannot hold 45, I just get out of it. Just noting some relative strength there on Intel, at least relative to what I see over in NVIDIA and AMD.
I think I'm going to try Uber short here if we could get him in that 28.40, 28.20 has come through. I mean, I don't know. Short. I mean, we should have shorted it all the way up there. Like, not right now, but just trying to find something here that we could do. I mean, we're just really happy with the shorts today. Needless to say, as Apple, I mean, look at this Apple, guys. $150 now in the money and still going down. $3 now in the money off of this level. And again, thanks for watching the Sticky Note, and thank you for all the support there, because these are some calls that we've made in hopes that, we can sort of understand and get on the same page and learn together. I mean, it's just the way that I'm trying to give back to everything that you guys give to us here on the show. So, yeah, I'm going to go. Let's just test a little bit of an Uber short there on the market. Again, big move up today for Uber. Up to 29. They obviously stunk the joint up yesterday. Not a great report.
Oh my God.
Let's go short Uber right now.
Have you seen NIO? NIO is. I have a number written down with an exclamation mark, and it's that 1590 on NIO. yeah, we're now within spitting distance. My alert didn't go off. I caught it before my alert, so thank you guys. You guys are better than my alert because that hasn't even gone off yet on NIO. Would you buy it down here? I think your out is clearly at 15.90. So if you're going to try to buy a dip, you got to be a little bit tighter here on NIO. I think like 16 quarter, something along those lines. But it is a dying quail, and I didn't see anything specific on it. Brendo?
There was a note, guys, actually on the SEC filing. It was positive, however. They just came out overnight and said they're going to do essentially whatever they need to do to maintain both their listing in New York and in Hong Kong. So, yeah, negativity regardless of seemingly positive note. Want to mention this as well. Facebook to the downside today, but holding up a little bit better than the rest right now. Hasn't taken out that initial low yet.
I keep looking for things that, like, is there anything that's sort of worth it for long because you're holding on for targets for some of these shorts? And like I ended up going to Twitter because it's like there's your security, but NIO off the bottom, ooh, that's a bit of a dicey trade. I mean, if you're into that thing, it's definitely okay. Facebook has relative strength. That's what I'll definitely give it. Intel has relative strength as well. But until we start finding a bid in the futures, that relative strength doesn't matter that much.
I mean, we love the beats. We're coming down here right now. I mean, I just put this Uber trade on literally 30 seconds ago, 28.05 right in front of you guys. We put that on together, and then we just got out at 27.80 per part of it, 27.87 actually right here, because it came right back into this low again. So there's Uber. It's hopefully a good trade for me. Let's see if it can continue to make some moves to the downside here. Uber yesterday obviously got killed, and then it made a nice little move, which probably shouldn't have, upside there with the Fed. So now we'll wait to see if it can come back in next area, 27.60 or so here for eBay or for Uber. That's another name that we're just, look at this, man. We just put this trade on. Like, this has just been, again, if I could just like take away me shorting Microsoft yesterday, then yeah, I'd be really, really happy. We're going to get another bid here, see if we get something in the 60s. Like we said, we took out another piece right there, 83. Now if Uber can continue to fall, that'd be all good. Microsoft, Datadog just came out. So that broke through 118. We took it out. Datadog, a positive name for me today. But again, with this market fading, we don't want to hold it. Big mistake not taking it out up there. But if the market ripped, it was definitely a name that I liked. But look at the shorts we have on, man. $250, $1.70 for Softy, now 90 cents for eBay, and this name getting clocked downside. Happy with that. Uber down. We just put all these, so we're 4 shorts right now. And again, exactly what we said on the sticky note, man. We're trying to keep it as real as we can, talking about this. Like we said it here yesterday. Huge move with the Fed. What does this say? I feel a fade today, right there. So that's what we talked about. That's why we're 4 shorts. That's why we're cashing in, hit our day's goal in the first 6 minutes. Now we're just adding to that, laying down the cash. Let's go basketball. I was going to say Raptors, but they're out of there. So anyone enjoying the basketball playoffs, that's great. And I also said yesterday, unfortunately, at T-ball practice, I told all the kids they were pretty sad about it. I said if the Leafs wind up losing last night, then they'll probably lose the series. They didn't like that. Still their favorite coach, I hope, but they didn't like that response there. And of course, the Leafs get clocked last night.
They still have home. I mean, they still have home ice. Like, it's not over. It's not over yet, but it's not a good look. It was a good game.
Yet,
CYN is just actually maybe a fake halt. So CYN was about to go into a halt at 4:38. It just resisted that halt for 5 or 10 seconds maybe before it broke back down. So it is at major resistance here at 440. This is a pretty solid level. Watch out for $5 if it can chew through it. But it tried to go into that halt state, which means it's starting to slow down there. It didn't do so. I've seen that be another catalyst to the upside, so I'm shorting it in front of 450. If 450 breaks, I'm not trying to hold through. But CYN looking absolutely gangbusters here, guys.
Okay, so just a quick update there. We got out of AMD because it took that 96.50 again. That was a level of concern for me right there because we bounced around 96.50. Looks like it's going to be, I don't know if it's going to be a mistake or not, but we got to take some profits there. It goes all the way down to 95.50, and then it's that's where VWAP was right there at 96.70. So again, just worried about that 96.50 area right there. So that's sort of why we made that move there on AMD. I don't mind getting short again into this name, but it's going to have to come back to 98 right here where we sort of barcoded in the pre-market. So these are levels of concern for me. Should have shorted Etsy. That's so stupid that we didn't do that. Yeah, let's just keep on this train, man. So far, so good here today. Apple still making the moves to the downside. Now at day's low for Apple, we're $1.80 in the money on that name. And then go over to Softy. we should be short this name. Like, unbelievable yesterday that we shorted all through here. And now, obviously, today, that would have been cash money. Look, they've given it all back, man. All back from the Fed. I mean, the Fed bottom was really 280, so there's still some room to go there. But since the 50-point, 75-point talk there, Microsoft takes out 290 and now back down to 283. So we talked about this, man. We felt the fade. Pretty good about the reads, man. So as long as I keep getting that, like, you know, feel about the market and it's right, then we should be able to have a really, really good day and a really good couple months coming through here, as I love the markets and I love the trade and I love to be here for you guys. So far so good on this one, man. The net just keeps on climbing. eBay is $1 in the money right now, eBay, guys.
By the way, that CYN, remember we quickly showed you that top there, the failed break. As quickly as it came in, it came right back down into $4. So I took some money in front of 410, 4 even as well. And again, playing these channels, like you had that support there for the last 2 sessions. Got broken yesterday, the 380 to 420. So that's where you can expect it to check up. If it can get through 450, this gets very, very dicey for this name. And remember Shopify, like we talked about, there's so many of these this morning that were weak, and you had to pick and choose. Like Tesla was a late entrant for me. We did grab Twilio, but Shop did break that 400. However, it's now, I mean, it failed break once, failed break twice, hold the low on Shopify. So of all of these names out here, Shopify has caught a teensy-weensy bitty bit of a bid in front of that 400. We said it's really ugly if it can hold below that. It hasn't held below. If there's any bounce in this market, I hate to say it, but Shopify's got a chance. There's a chance.
Yeah, I mean, some of these beatdown names, I mean, that's why we're looking at, you know, an Uber, a Lyft, and things like that, just to find, like, you know, yesterday, did we have any plays yesterday, and how are they acting today? All right, so did we just get another reload on Uber? Yes, we did. Okay, we're going to have to try to respect some of these levels. We've already taken Uber out. Like, when it broke there, that was the level that we liked, man. We talked about that 28.08 level. That's where we went short initially, took it out in the 80s there, and now we're popping back up on Uber. So maybe we got to do a little more work on this name just to make sure that, you know, we don't average into this thing into oblivion to the upside. We're not going to do that. So that's not something to look at. I was just looking at Etsy, but then I got this eBay fill. Uber fill. eBay $1 in the money. That's fine. But right now, Uber, just to have a quick look. Yeah, I don't like this too much if we take out that 28.20. So if we take out 28.20, which is right here, 28.25, let's call it, then yeah, we want to get rid of this one. But we have reloaded Uber. Now let's see if it goes to the downside. Our average price is 10. It's not like it's a huge reload here, but we're trying to absorb that 28.25, which is where this VWAP is. So hopefully, there it is. Now we can go back down to the downside. There goes Uber. What's up, Brendo?
Wayfair, guys, not good. 20% here. Just another volume spike to the downside there. Big flush. This is a daily chart. So we're below that. This is now back to pandemic levels or pre-pandemic levels. So the entire move this thing put in during the pandemic, officially gone for Wayfair.
Come on. I got out of course I got out of Tesla. It's at 420. Sorry, it's at 920. If Tesla was at 420, we'd be freaking out. Yeah, okay, fine, I get it.
I'd be long.
But that's not even why it came to my mind. It's because I turned my head and CYN was at 420. It wasn't that, guys. It could have been. But Shopify just broke an iceberg at 402. So what's coming into this 400? If Shopify bounces off this price one more time, I'm going to try along with a stop at 400. But it'll be a really tight stop. Like I only want to risk like a couple of bucks on this at absolute best. But if it gets through, it's probably done. I'm still holding on to Twilio. Although Twilio's catching a bid in front of 116, I might have to take that one off to try and capture $7 or $8 if it doesn't want to give me the 10. But Shop at 400, there it goes. It just broke. So I want to get my hands off the keys so I don't accidentally punch long. And by the way, Softy. It's very close to that support level we talked about. I didn't think that would come in at 956, but here we are.
Yeah, man. I mean, I thought all these would. I didn't look at Softy. I'll have to look at that again. But the only thing that we dropped that we shouldn't have dropped, obviously, is AMD, as that just retraces right back to the bottom there. So instead of getting out, we probably should have reloaded it. But again, look at this NASDAQ down here. So just like yesterday, I talked about this in the lunchroom. We talked about this. I was kept shouting out Luca's name. I said maybe the NASDAQ goes 3 or 4%. That's exactly what happened. And then today we felt the fade. So yeah, man, we're just cashing in on a lot of these shorts. eBay 90 cents in the money. I'm I'm sitting on the bid now because, you know, we've bounced around a little bit. I feel like this is a great trade here for eBay to the downside. One of my more profitable names today for sure. Uber on the reload just came right back. Ooh, it touched 90s there. This is going to be a nice name to the short side. We got to find something else. I don't know why. Like normally I'm on NEO almost every single day. I'm looking at it, and today it's down 10%, and I'm just sitting here like ignoring it. So I know Neil talked about it a little bit off the chat there, but wow.
Yeah, but I only saw it because of the chat.
That's what I mean,
didn't
yeah,
see
like a big move to the downside there. So thanks for bringing this up to our attention. But yeah, definitely a missed opportunity here on NIO today. Yeah, what is that level? Yeah, 1590. I mean, that's right where we bounced off that. So I think we got to probably take a short into NEO. But again, everything is so far down right now that this reminds me of yesterday where the market just kept ripping. And I was like, I don't know what to do. I don't know what to do. Like, I'm going to short things. Am I going to long names into this move? Like, I don't want to go the other way around here. So let's just try to be as specific and as easygoing as we can here. We're holding on to these shorts, man. Apple's now 3.250 in the money. We're happy with that trade and bouncing around here at this 161.50, but I still think we go lower, man. Like, this is a great move upside for Apple. Yesterday, obviously, we saw that rally. We had that bottom of 160. Maybe we get 160 again, guys, but it looks like it wants to bounce. I don't want to really get out of these trades, but hey, profit is profit at some point. You got to take it. What's up? Was that Brendan? Or I don't know. I thought I heard something in my ear. If we didn't, that's fine. Yeah, Brendan. Okay, what's up, Brendo?
Lithium names, guys, pretty strong here. One that reported 2 days ago, LTHM back to day highs as the market continues to slide. So have a look at some lithium names showing some strength.
So I finally ran. I'll hit the hockey one. I don't mind. It's 1-1,
Yeah,
man. We're alive. We're alive. I did get the 116 out on Twilio, so I got out of that trade. I think I got 750 on the last of it, but Microsoft made that trade. It was 282 on the dip that I liked, and if it's 80s after and 77s, and those are the only two other levels I'll take on Microsoft. But it did bounce off 82s. If we take this out, if it gets taken out, then we know what our risk to reward is. First out 83s, and then up to VWAP. Shopify got right back above 400 just there. So another failed break at that 400 level. I don't want to pay up too far, but I did jump on in front of 401 and see if I can't give it to the most recent low, which was at 399. Hey man, if it was resisting breaking the low when the market was dying another percent. And it's already down 17%. So it just turns into one of those, if you can risk $2 to try and make, whether it's 10 to 15, I don't know if it'll give you 20, then I'll go ahead and try to do that. Let's see if I can. Twilio, as I said, did come out. It tried to get through that 115 down to the 12 area that we liked. It bounced off the even and then resisted 118 here. As the futures were making that bottom and I got into Microsoft, I was able to catch a 116 print. So it ends up close to $8 on that trade. We'll celebrate it. But CENN, a lot of people have been talking about. I'm still in the CYN. But CEN, I keep seeing this name pop up here, and I'm not seeing a lot of price action. So if there's a reason for calling this one out, I'm not necessarily seeing it here. I know it's made a little bit of a move back and forth, but if it's not really going, then you don't want to trade it today because there's so much out there that is just absolutely wild, giving you a chance for real gross wins. You don't want to get bogged down in something not moving.
No, we just get out of something there. Oh no, our Apple's still in. What did we get out of there? Uber. That's what it was. Yeah. So out of Uber, we'll go. Mamma mia, it's a good trade for us. We're putting net profit in our pocket as we go. But Uber just stronger here as the market continues to fade down. I was getting close. I know Neil's long. I know he's going to get out here on Microsoft if it does break. But I was debating taking this long in front of 282. But again, man, this market just wants to break. So we got to watch out for that trade here. 282 on Softy. I like it. I really like it. But again, catching falling swords yesterday didn't work for me on the way up. And there it goes right there again. So unfortunately, that's for me. Wouldn't have worked. I don't have it, but watch out for that Softy through 282. We're still $2 in the money on Apple and $1 now in the money on eBay. Out of absolutely everything else. Datadog back down to 115, so that was a great trade for us. We're net positive on that. Actually made some decent money. And as you can see, AMD, mistake on that one, man. We're short 98.50. Should still be in this one as we're touching 95. That's AMD. But right now at the big board, it's the man, it's the myth, it's the legend, it's Brendan Wickens.
Hey guys, yeah, what a move from some of the chip makers so far on the watch list this morning. Here we go, a red board, ugly numbers right now. 1.8 from the S&P, the Dow, 1.4 to the downside. Small caps under pressure as well. There's the NASDAQ leading, almost got to 3% on that last push for the 100 there for the NASDAQ. A couple of things we talked about. Even the banks under pressure here after that impressive move yesterday. Day low is, in fact, for JP Morgan as we speak here, down 1.75. Sunrun, another earnings name that was pretty impressive aftermarket yesterday, beat handily, broke 26 straight through to 23.5 for Run. Guys, back to you.
So I tried two longs. Microsoft took out the low, so I'm going to take my out when it approaches. And the same thing with Shop. It tried to hold, it couldn't. I didn't get into Oxy. I'm glad somebody did around here. I was on the bid in front of that 62. It dipped down to 62.50 twice before making that break and then taking out that. I mean, this is what just happened on Oxy. Like, it just hit that 64 on the daily. You talk about a monster resistance level. Like, that's a monster resistance, and if it can continue through here, I don't see any reason why you can't get 65, 66. It's not always about the price of oil here because, Oxy will go faster and stronger sometimes than the overall market, the oil market, I should say. And we are going counter trend. That's the other thing. Like, it's been strong when the market has been heading down. It's continuing that. The only play right now is this break that you just got on the daily. So when in Rome, do as. I'll see if I can't pick it up. The story is to me, like, when I made the decision to roll out of Tesla and then hold on to Twilio, that's the one that I'm going to end up regretting because since then, Twilio, it gave like an extra couple of dollars. Tesla's now at $9.15.
Yeah, I was just unbelievable. I mean, some of these levels here continue to break. I mean, I was just talking about going short through 282 there on that break because the long didn't hold, obviously. And now you're already down to 281 now on Microsoft.
It's just dying.
All these names are just dying, slow deaths here today, as predicted. So, I mean, I can't sit here and be like, this is a shock to me because it's absolutely not. I tweeted this out at 8 o'clock today that this fade felt like it was going to fade today, and then there it is. So are you going to watch this 280 maybe here on Softy or $3? We'd be $4 or $5 in the money now on AMD. We don't have it, but right there, Microsoft 280 could come into play, man. I mean, we had dipped a hell of a lot lower yesterday, down to 276. The market's down 3% and really has nothing to go. I talked about it earlier, 13,000 on NASDAQ if you're going to look at something. Right now, the NASDAQ is down to 13.1. We started the day at 13.5. So already took down 300 points on the NASDAQ, and you're starting to continue to move, man. I can check. No, Arun flat right now, not in any position, so nothing to go there. I know some of you were asking because we didn't have him today, but not in a position with Arun right now on the futures. But the market is Tank City right now to the downside. Got to try to find something after the show is done. I am buying more Google for sure, as that's down to 23.50 right now. Facebook's down to 213. Look, I recently bought Google 170. 213 is pretty good. ARK getting clapped today, down 7% today. ARK down 7%. Some person that hopefully is not down today. Ms. V, what up?
Hey guys, markets are falling, but I hope you are in a profitable territory, and I want to welcome a new member, Capped Sunshine. Welcome to the family, welcome to the green side. I hope you are having a great day yourself. And team, while I'm here, I remind you to like this video. Please help us to get more likes. We have more than 6,000 people watching. And of course, make sure you're a subscriber of Trader TV Live. Back to you guys.
Tesla just hit 910. Like, this just got out of hand. And of course, like, Intel's still above 45, so that came in here. I'm trying to, I know people have asked about Arun's levels. I did just throw him a message. Obviously, he'll get back to me usually when he gets a free moment. I don't think he's in any trades right now, as you said, but he might be looking at something. So once he gives me the levels, I'll get them to you. This CYN broke $4 here. I'm going to trail it now to 4 and look to see if it can get down to about 360. So, and we talked about that one. It had that failed halt. So it tried to halt. Obviously, it did not, and then it made a top red at a level on the daily chart. It looks like it's starting to come back in rather heavily. Intel here. That's one, if it's above that 45 level, and anything that's still holding the Fed bottom, I guess is relatively strong because everything's crapping all over itself or defecating all over itself is a better way to put it. It's a little more elegant to say defecate. Isn't it?
I mean, I think it's pretty extreme both ways. I prefer the word.
It just sounds. It just sounds better.
Yeah, it sounds better.
Because you're talking about unmentionables. But if we're in front of 45, I said I'd go long, so I grabbed those quarters. It took a while for it to come in, but here it is. Oxy, I want to make sure I give it that dollar because there's so much room to the upside. And Arun is, go with your position. I think I've got the levels from him. We'll mention it in a second.
Yeah, we're just into Microsoft right now, 50 cents in the money. We took a 280 break back upside right now. So, again, let's put an offer out if we can get it at this. Look at this, man. This reminds me of like yesterday where these levels, like it was just at 70 there, Microsoft. We were like 65 cents in the money, and then it just came crashing back down here. So, yeah, man, these longs, if you're going to be in them, don't be in them for long right there because this market is not appreciating any longs right now. So there it is. Oh, wrong chart. Let me show you this daily chart right there. There it is right there on the minutes. Just trying to play some of these wick bottoms, man. 279.68 there is where we wick down to. If we take that down, 279.50, then we're out. We're not holding this for very long. We were just 70 cents in the money. We didn't take it, right? So if we lose 50 cents, we got to get out. Here it comes crashing back down. $3 in the money on Apple, but we are going to look to lose 50 cents. Here it comes on Microsoft all the way to the downside. That was really fast there. So good thing we took a little piece out as here comes Microsoft right back down to 279.50. So it did not hold. Well, it's trying to hold, but that wick bottom right there of 279.50, man, these stocks fall way faster than they go up. So just be very, very careful here on anything that you're trading long. Go ahead.
The market goes up like an escalator and down like an elevator.
For
that
sure.
was, I think, my first day in training. That was a quote. So Arun is given 4,200, which we're at right now, to 41.75 as first support. If we lose that, he says small chance that 41.60 to 41.20. 41.20, I remember that was a big level for him before. Holds. Small chance that level would hold. But if we get through that, his exact words, it won't be pretty if we get through 41.20. And that's on the ES, by the way. You know, he always talks the S&P 500. Often we will talk about, you'll hear Sean and I talk about the NASDAQ very often, but Arun giving his levels on the S&P. Intel made the bounce off the quarters. Like Sean said, get out of your, don't hold your longs forever. Take your profit where you can. I took some out there on the way back into VWAP on my 3-minute chart. It bounced where I was looking for it to bounce. So Microsoft didn't. I think Microsoft might have gone on the money like 20 or 30 cents before it turned on me. I'm not going to look a gift horse in the mouth. I'm going to try and take these profits and ring them on the long if you can. That's what it's going to be all about here. If it gets to 45.50, I'll have to make a decision point here. If the market hasn't bounced, I'll just get it all out.
Okay. So right now, you know, we're going to give this down to 279 flat on Microsoft. I'm going to try to hold this as far up as we can now on Microsoft and see if that can work out for us here to the long side. Apple's trying to go again as well right now, back upside. So I was looking at this 162 area to get out. If it does rip up, if it rips up to that high, that's great because we'll actually make a lot of money on our Microsoft long instead. So just an update, we did take out some eBay right there in the middle. It doesn't look like it wants to tank as much. So right now we have 5% of our eBay position on, so very, very small amount there, just to see if it does continue to go. The NASDAQ might have, I don't want to call it a bounce because it doesn't, I mean, this is not much of a bounce when you have this, but maybe we just made a little bit of a bottom, so that's why I'm trying to hold on a little bit to this softy trade. But yeah, right now, this, like I said, man, the market definitely wants to go one way, and it seems like it's down, so just be very, very careful with any of your longs. Make sure you have those outs. There's my ZEO XLE at 52-week highs right now as well, as energy still at 110, so for oil, still making that move up. I know Neil talked about Oxy. Oxy, 52-week highs at 63.50. What's up, Brandon?
High flyer past couple of days. BTTX, all kinds of strength again today. 20%, no real significant news that I saw on this anyways, but through that 250 high from 2 days ago on BTTX, heavy volume.
Yeah, I mean, shout out to Elizabeth. Just was putting a message in there saying, good look on Oxy. Like, I'm going to buy a dip in front of 63 here, just watching that trend. It's been holding a pretty good trend. If it cannot hold that level, you got to give it up. It is a 52-week high that it just turned off of. So I want to give it room to work. However, you go against the trend, and it's not necessarily your friend. I'm always way too exposed with the Canadian ETFs to energy to do much more than the Chevron that I hold. But Tesla is making a bit of a bottom. 910 was a level on the 15-minute if you go back to last week. But we also, yesterday, the Fed bottom was more that 900, and then it took out 915. So as much as I like it on the 15-minute, it does feel like that's a bit what's the word I want to use here? Perilous to try to take this to any kind of a long side of a trade, especially when we're testing those levels that Arun just mentioned. Like, it could get real nasty real fast. And like I said I would do on Intel, yeah, man, like you might just have to get to these levels and run. I'm just going to get it all out. Like, I don't even think it makes sense to have any more of these. I'm just going to cover this trade. I just got another dip buy at a price that I liked, and that was in Wells Fargo. So there's no way I want to hold on to Intel if it tries to make the curl. The move is to the downside. HYMC is dying, by the way. I got to get back over to that one. But I just got into Wells, and the thing about Wells Fargo, I said, oh, wait, we have a crazy dip buy. And every now and then you say, okay, well, I like the dip buy to this price. And you're like, well, it's not going to get there. Well, sometimes it does. And if you know you like a price level, look, you never want to write these things off. Sometimes you do get an opportunity, I should say, to trade off of these levels. And here is that 44 right now. It was yesterday's bottom, now long in front of yesterday's bottom, patiently waiting for it to get to that price. And then it's an easier trade. If it breaks the low, I'm out. If we bounce here into the mid 44s, I'll take profit on the way to 45. Brendo?
Side note on Twitter here, Tesla, possibly the same thing at one point, but Electrek reporting that Tesla is going to expand not only Shanghai, but now Gigafactory Berlin as well. They just made a huge land purchase adjacent to where the current one is, guys, apparently for Tesla.
Man, Tesla's just not messing around, are they? And that's what we're talking about. Oh, let's check out Fisker right now quickly, as I know we've looked at Tesla today, obviously. Still probably making moves at the downside right there. Fisker, nice move to 11, wow. And then the market was like, no, thank you, Fisker. We're still controlling this thing. And then that came all the way to the downside. Maybe a long off 10 there for Fisker. So that could be something there that you're looking at. So there could be something there off the long 10. You got to hold it to 970 if you want it. So that ratio is actually not that bad right now, because if you take a 10 long right here, or even rate, well, you got to get a little closer to 10, then you have 30 cents worth of risk, and you have a lot more upside here on Fisker. Just to get back to 35, I mean, we should have noticed that down here. We didn't, but that's going to be a good call. Let's try the Fisker long at 10 if we can get it, guys.
Oh, yeah, Fisker. That just reminded me of Rivian.
Yeah.
Well, come on.
We reloaded Microsoft
there it
too,
is.
by the way.
Rivian just got to $30, right? So remember that 34 to 35 area? Clearly a huge failure. But if you talk about these bottoms from yesterday, anywhere you get these big liquidity vacuum lows are usually pretty significant. I wish I'd seen this a tiny bit faster, because it just bounced off of, I'll call it the Fed bottom, 3080 here, and it made that nice little bounce. Like I said, I took Wells Fargo just now, and Tesla is bouncing off 910. I said it would be perilous and don't take it. Well, okay, fine, if you took it. It ended up working out for you. I thought it might test its lows from yesterday in the afternoon, that 910 area. It looks like it's not going to do so. Shopify, by the way, back above that 400. So, you know, it's not always about like, okay, it showed some relative strength, so I tried the long, but it's still a losing trade, very tight stop there. And it is trying to catch a little bit of a bid here, but there was no way that I wanted to just sit there and say, I'm going to give Shopify $10. Because I feel like if I did that, you're paying an extra 2 or 3 on the spread alone. It needs to go right away. And it's still in a downward trend, down 16%. But that 400, right back to holding. And excuse me while I try to take some profit on Wells Fargo on this bounce.
Yeah, right here, guys, we are looking at the same thing with a little bit of a bounce here in Softy, as that's trying to go back up to the upside just a little bit here. So let's see if that can make our dream come true here for some Microsoft trades. Back to the upside is what we would really, really like. If that could happen, that'd be great. Microsoft right now, 279.72 is our position right now. So if we can get that back up, we are trying to short it if it gets into like 282, 283. But for right now, we'll try to play this long. Again, we just took a little piece out there at 280. I mean, again, what does this market want to do? We still have $3 in the money on Apple. We still have AMD that made that big move. We were short 98.50. So there's a lot of stuff happening right now. Let's go Microsoft. They're really the number one concern for me here, as I don't, we have that bottom, but I think we can pop, man. So, like, I like Microsoft here. I think there's a chance to pop. But again, this NASDAQ, it just tested 13,000, right? We got as low as 13,043 there. So, oh man, maybe that could have been the bottom. And again, we're not trying to bottom pick here. We're just going, like, I'm only in Microsoft. I guess we are trying to bottom pick, but we're only in Microsoft now. It's not like we're trying to catch these falling swords. We're just, we're looking at levels, and the market could continue to go down. I mean, just like we were down 4.5 a couple days ago on Friday, could go down that again today. But let's say that we don't, and let's hold Microsoft and see where we go from here. We still got $3 in the money on Apple, 60 cents on eBay, and now 25 cents on Softy. So hopefully one of these things can work out for us, and I'd prefer it to be Softy long.
Yeah, and when they do work out for you, you want to take that profit. I got some out of Wells Fargo there, so I will ring the register. But you cannot ignore the fact that this looks like the gates of hell. I'm maybe overstating it a bit, but yeah, the second it tries to move up, anything, just about anything tries to catch a bid, you're just reversing at the first point sign of resistance, and that's exactly what I'm seeing in Wells Fargo. So I'm taking some out in front of VWAP, just like we did with Intel. I know Intel went a little further, but I would rather, on the long side, be out too early. It was a mistake to be out too early on the short side. I don't think it's a mistake to be out too early taking profit on the long side of trades today. That's just the outlook. I know there's some still small caps moving, and I talked about HYMC at that open. It's still looking relatively weak here. It hasn't been able to get through $1.50, but it was through that 160 level and still continuing to show these signs of weakness. But it just absolutely crushed to that downside. I think if it gets to 140, which is where it closed, it's unlikely to take that out. It'll probably find some buyers down there. So about 20 cents left, I think, worth of profit taking potentially in HYMC. We're short off this 190 top, right? It never managed to break that high. I couldn't add to the position at the open. I tried to. I should go ahead and cancel that. There's no way I want that 191 if it comes in now.
No, we don't. That's the other thing too, right? Is that, like, when certain trades come in at the wrong time, it's like they look great initially. And we just took out another piece of Softy here at 280.20 for 50 cents. So, so far so good on this name, but still thinking that the market wants to go back to the upside. Just a review on Apple. I mean, this is a name that we're going to have to get out of if I think the market's going to rip up. I mean, we have $3 in the money, kind of just holding this one because we had a great top there of 166.50. We talked about that on our sticky note. Right here, 166.50, topped out yesterday, topped out a couple days before, so I like those levels, but right now, still going to the downside. There's my Apple trade right there, 164, and we put it on late, and it still worked. So now we have to watch out for 160 possible break. That was our long yesterday, guys. We had this long right here yesterday on that 160. So maybe that's going to be a good area to get out if we test. We came pretty close now. We went to 160.60 right now. So that's Apple. Looking at that trade. Let's just check back in on Uber. Oh man, why did we get out of Uber? It's now $1 lower than where it was as that name continues to not work. So yeah, a lot of fun happening today, but XOM, 52-week highs back up to 90. That's a good trade, man. I think I'm long in the 30s on XOM right now. We'll have to double check that one as well. These are just positions from very, very long ago. I get out of them, so I don't hold that many shares, but XOM right there. Look at this 52-week chart, or daily chart, I guess. Huge move upside, man, and still taking out new highs right now on XOM, so another great trade there as we go and look. Maybe AMD is the stock to short as it's having a hard time right here with this level. Oh, sorry, that's 100 on the daily chart. On the minute chart, it's right here, these levels I was looking at, $96. Should have hit that off that fade, but AMD back to the downside as the market's failing again.
Yeah, market failing again. If you're looking for strength, there's a BTTX making a bit of a move to the upside. And again, I know it's a small cap stock, but outside of energy, good luck finding any real strength in some names here. $3, it just made a turn at 297, I suppose, getting a little bit more specific with that. On the daily chart, we've seen what's happened in the past here. I'll zoom in so you can see this is a pretty significant level. If it chews through 3, lots of room to the upside to $4. So when it gets that big and the gap opens up, it's usually a short for me off this. It's made one high there. If it tries to put in a lower high, I'll go for it. But I actually have to pay for shorts on BTTX. And unlike Arun, I'm willing to do so on one of these names. So I'll see how cheap it is, because it's going to be cheap, and then try to get in front of this 3.
Well, just looking here at another name, let's just check out Meta as Facebook continues to fall here today, man. Okay, well, that's not a good daily chart, but there it is right there. We hit that high yesterday. And then today, it's crazy that we tweeted out that we felt like the market was going to fade today when the market was flat. Now you're down 3.5%. We've been holding the shorts and really destroying this market. So have to be really happy with the way this is going. I don't really want to remember I told you yesterday, check out your IRAs and your RRSPs. Yeah, don't do that today. But right down there, look, did we maybe find a level there for Facebook at 211? That could have been something down there. So we'll see if it wants to get back upside right now. But right here, I like Facebook at these levels, but it has to get near 211 a little bit again if it can fall down. Again, we're not trying to catch, like I said, let's wait for levels to hit. That's why we're in this Microsoft. We're bouncing around this we'll get out if it takes down 279, but it's given us an opportunity. We're actually up on Microsoft despite trying to go long here. So watch out. If this breaks 279 to the downside, then we are out of that one, which is, again, fine. We've taken some out here on the upside for Softy, but Apple is the one that continues to make a move down. So does eBay. It sucks we got out of our Uber because right now, look where we were short, man. 28 down to 27.40. All right, Brendan. It's your time to shine, my man. It's small cap recap. Let's go.
Hey guys, yeah, busy morning. If you were short, you were not wrong today. That is for sure. ICPT, huge move all the way to 24. That actually happened this morning, all the way to 24 there on positive news. Very thinly traded stock, so be very careful on this one. Comes all the way back and then some. So this initial failure was 20, and then below 1975 was enough for me to get involved. So, I mean, you could get 1925 versus 1975. This thing goes all the way to 17. Trying to bounce right now. ICPT, huge mover. Highcroft. There was no bid. There's still no bid ever since the open. It's going straight down off of that earnings report. So let's see if we can get back to these levels from the past couple of days. I was going to talk about Nikola, but my chart froze as well. So Nikola made the move initially, failed, and gave you an opportunity to get involved on the downside on the bounce, guys, for Nikola as well. It's kind of grinding, though. Back over to you.
All right.
Get the news on the Nikola, but Nikola's actually, it is making a bounce right now. I can pull up the chart. Was it? Did they? Oh, you're right. They did report, but there was an update on production. I felt like that Brennan was mentioning. It got a good bounce off 750. Literally 5 minutes ago or like 10 minutes ago, and it's trying to get back upside. But if you look at the 15 and where we failed at the high around $8, like that makes some sense to me. And if it can't get back through, like 8 here, maybe stalling out at 780, you can see why there's an opportunity for a lot of sellers to start coming in right at VWAP where it does sit right now. I did get into that BTTX, and I might have to get out of that WFC. Is that starting to come back in? BTTX failed, like I said, at 97, not necessarily $3. The first consolidation was in the high 80s where I just picked it up. And look, it's still a positive trend as long as it holds 265. So you got to make sure when you're on the other end of the spectrum, which is the counter trend, that you're taking the profit. And I'm going to make sure I'm taking profit all the way down to 265. Tesla, by the way, did not hold 910, so I'm glad I didn't buy the dip there. 895 to 900. That was at the Fed bottom. When things made the turn, it was a failed break at 900 on Tesla. I can quickly show it to you this way. It was a failed break at 900 that got about to 895. So if you're looking for a line in the sand on Tesla, that feels a little better than that 910 did.
All right, calm down back there, Baxter. It's a little too loud up in here. Baxter yesterday made 350, so we'll go. Congratulations to Baxter. Sheesh, Baxter. The arrow pointing up for this kid right now. So there it is. Nice little move there for Algos and Baxter. But it wasn't an algo trade yesterday. He went long Pinterest and then went short something and yada, yada, yada. So nice little move there, Baxter, yesterday. Don't follow in my footsteps. Let's be a lot more successful. Apple right now. Microsoft. By the way, so why am I still in Microsoft? It broke that 279. I still have a small piece right now. Didn't even really realize that. We didn't get the full out because I must have had an offer out there. So there's the break. We got out at 92 on Microsoft, so it did wind up breaking. This is a good opportunity right now just to push offer and enter, get a piece out. Well, and of course, as soon as I do that, it goes downside right there. Rips up through 90. We get out right there. So out on that Microsoft trade. All is well on that. No problems there. Just it did break to the downside. Microsoft, thank God this is not bleeding today. Apple right now, $3.50 in the money. Still trying to take out those lows, but look where it bounced off, 160, man. So that was a good little level yesterday. I think it's worth putting a bid right now. It just bounced off of it. Let's take Microsoft out for $4 winner. Put that in the bank right now. We're smoking something today, and it's not the good. It's the market as it's getting to the downside here, crushing every long, man. Glad we don't have any really today. But eBay now $1 $1 in the money, Apple $4 in the money. Just bounced off that 160. So if we break this 160.50, we're going to get out of Apple, put that $3.50 in our pocket, and just move on from this, guys.
Yeah, and it's just one of these things where the market is, if you don't know what direction is, I don't know what market you're watching here. And even oil starting to come back in. So that break on Oxy, I mean, the initial break was good. I didn't get the initial break, but it looks like it's going to take out recent support level at 62.80. That's where my stop is on it. I just went back to look at Twilio because it is actually catching a bid down around where our target was, this 116. I don't really like it for a long, but it is one to file away if we do make a bottom in the market here. You know, that is one that's held a lot of support. Like I said, Tesla, I am looking, and this is where you start to get really patient. It's 10:30, like the rush is in, or the rush has already happened. Yeah. So you want to see if you can patiently wait for the key levels or the trades to set up. So 900 is incoming on Tesla, and that's all I'm looking for. 900 simultaneously with 13,000 on the NASDAQ, 1480 on the ES, 4180 where Arun mentioned on the ES. I think 4175 specifically. If we bounce off these levels, Tesla 900 does make a little bit of sense. Okay, Oxy didn't stop me out. It got pretty close. And then Wells Fargo was the other name that I liked on the dip, and it was very specific. Like on my 15-minute, it's not that complicated. Like Wells Fargo, where did it bottom out on the Fed? That's where I want to buy in front. Because when there's a liquidity vacuum, where the buyers step in usually gives you a bit of a hint at prices that are desired. So when you see them, this is where you can try to catch a turn. If Tesla does the same thing, I'll go long in front of Tesla. But I'm not going to do it until it gets to that Fed number, or Fed price, I should say.
All right, so I'm sitting here. Oh, we just missed it, man. I'm sitting here at 211 flat to try to get a Facebook long. I want to test the longs now into this. We just had a bottom there at 210.50 or so. Oh, man, I should have pushed along on this instead of just sat around waiting for it. Where are we coming in? 211? I mean, I don't really want to, like Neil just mentioned, man, I don't really want to pay up for shares here, but I mean, we might have to. Well, we'll try down here in the teens if it comes back in. Just we'll give up. There it is. Of course, we get it now. And then there we go. We would have got 211s now, but okay. We get 211.12. So not that much change here for me on that trade. But Facebook, we're going to give this back down to the low of the day there, 210.50. I think right now, I mean, it's 10:30. The market's just sort of absorbed everything here. I don't know. Is there going to be more downside? Like I said, we'll check that crystal ball. I know Pratt has one, so he'll check that crystal ball for you in about a half hour.
Oh, quickly.
But right now, yeah, go ahead, man.
Well, we talked about 13,000 on the NASDAQ and some big levels on the ES as well, but UVXY, that got to 16 and then reversed pretty hard after 2 o'clock. So that's a pretty monster level, which is incoming. We're about 35 cents away on UVXY. That's what I tend to track. Up 11%. So volatility, the market's tanking. Volatility is going to be on the rise. But if you get a turn here, if you're looking for a long, an entry point to a long, or a profit-taking level for some of your shorts, another profit-taking level, yeah, well then pop up volatility and see what happens when we get to 16. If we start to curl or reject that level, that's not a bad exit price. And I don't know if I want to be jumping into any kind of a long position if we're taking out that high. If we get through that high, you don't want to go long as you're on the other side of it. If it holds, then great. You've got another layer of confidence that we've caught a little bit of a turn there. So going to be eyeballing UVXY for myself.
Yeah, we just took out 20% for 25 cents only on Facebook. Remember, our stop is going to be 50 cents. So, you know, we'll take out some for 25. Obviously, we're holding for a hell of a lot more than this one. But you can see right now, and I just, you know, we're talking about this, but the NASDAQ right now, right back to the bottom again of 13,000. It's literally bouncing off 13,000. The bottom is 13,004.
There's Tesla. So,
I mean, it's to the downside right now. It goes Facebook and goes the market. So we're gonna hold out hope that Facebook does get a chance to go here. Back to the upside, we do have a 50-cent target to get out. I think this one's well worth the risk. Microsoft, woo, yeah. I mean, this one just keeps bleeding to the downside. Good thing we're able to get out of that one on a 279 break. So really no damage done on that. It's just, again, we should still be short 8. Well, we shouldn't be because we got out there when I thought it was taking view up and we might have retraced back up. That was way too early though. So if I've learned anything, why panic at 950 thinking the market's going to reverse? There's so much more left in this, but that was a good trade for me here. AMD short 98.50 in the pre-market. We didn't have that many shares. Otherwise, we probably still have some, but so we just cashed it out there. We're at a big level for us today, man. Couldn't be happier with the trading. Unfortunately, Facebook may take us out. Apple, eBay dollar in the money, and we're out of Uber. But look at this short that we had on Uber. If you're still in it, man, let's go hell yeah to that one. If you still have that Uber trade and you didn't get out of it like I did, nice move downside. You're now in the money $1 on this Uber trade. Should have held it. Don't know why I didn't. I'm learning with you guys every single day. What's up, B?
Yet another one getting crushed here, guys. Fastly, day low is $14 about to get taken out here. Just saw a volume spike on this one as well after a miss for them after market yesterday. 1 hour left over in the European session. Miss V's watching what's going on over there. What's up?
Hey, Brandon, European markets are positive, supported by strong earnings. Airbus trading in Paris is up more than 7% after posting better than expected quarterly profit, while oil giant Shell trading in London is up more than 3% after posting record first quarter profit.
Just seeing a short report, guys, on this one. ZETA, the bear cave, apparently short this one.
The bear cave? I'll have a quick look at that in a second, but
Like
I just did the test on Tesla, and I always like, if I'm going to have an out on a play like this, I want these overlapping so that you can barely even see that you're in the trade. 95 tried to just hold there as the VIX or volatility was trying to hold a higher low. I saw it curl. That's the condition I wanted to take it in front of 95. And again, it's at bottom on the Fed, but not holding through. You know, in and out of a long very, very quickly. Like, that's got to be the idea for me. And we are still churning higher on UVXY. Like, we didn't actually make a turn. If we were to make a turn, I think that's where you put on something where you widen the stop a little bit. But until we actually do that, which we haven't, like, we're actually still grinding up. If we slow down and curl over, then you think about something where you're opening your stop up. Otherwise, you know, if you have it out, make sure you run to the exit or at least take it when it does get there. Otherwise, you're going to get absolutely destroyed. If only because Rivian is on my mind and $30 is getting really, really close here. It's got this weird stacked offer, and the reason for this, like, Rivian's obviously going to be SSR. Is it SSR? Yeah, it should be SSR. But you can see, like, when the offer stacks like this, they're not able to hit the bid. But as it gets closer to this 30 level, like, that would be the example. We hit this 16 on UVXY, and something like 30 on Rivian would give you a chance, just because it's a psychological level, to try and catch a bit of a reversal. But again, have a tight stop. Understand that if we churn through, we can always go lower, but you're starting to get to the point where some of these things have overextended, and you are pretty much at yesterday's level on the VIX, which is a pretty important thing. If it turns from here, you want something, either get out of some shorts or you want to try to get something to that long side, but don't get stubborn about it.
Man, I'm just sitting here watching Facebook because it's just bouncing around and it's not really giving me reason to get out or to get more shares or to do anything right now. Bouncing around this 211, I think it's just trying to find its footing. I just put another offer up in the 30s. I was trying to wait, you know, like to get back into here, 213. 213.50, something like that. So I'm going to try to take one more piece out if we get into the 30s, because again, like, we'll take a 30-cent win because we're going to try to get out if it takes down, well, not try, we will get out if it takes down this 210.50, which has been the bottom. The market just showing no love at all, no bouncing spots at all here for the market. A lot of names working, man. Oil's working today. I know Neil's in Oxy there. Microsoft down to 277. What was another name we looked at today? We looked at eBay. We looked at Uber. We can check back in on eBay. Look where eBay is, man. I mean, let's go. Let's just ring the register on that one as the market is still bleeding to the downside. This is $1.50 now in the money. We talked about, I mean, look, for those of you that are welcome, I mean, join us now, welcome. But look what we marked down here that we were going to see today for eBay 50. I mean, there it is right there. eBay went as high as 51.85 today, and then there's $1.85 right there, back down to 50 cents. And we have the trade. I mean, we have the trade on right now. Facebook just went to the downside there, so it just took us out. There it goes, man. The market breaks. Bye-bye Facebook. So again, no. You know, it sucks because we lost on it, but whatever. $1.40 in the money now on eBay. $4 now in the money on this Apple trade, man. It took down that 160 and said, see you later to that one. So this is going to be probably a good out for us. I mean, this is probably a good area right here, down to 160 to get out. So let's take this out now on Apple. It just hit our target. That's our target. When we get hit like that, that's what we do. So there's Apple up all the way down to 160. Man, this is a good short. $4, we'll take it. Let's put a bid right now. I mean, we could trail this if we really did want to, but maybe to 160.25. Let's just trail this to 160.25. Let's give this 25 cents. If it continues to go downside like it's doing right now, then that's great. But that's our target right now, 160. So we hit it. So we hit the sirens. We're having a monster day, man, today. Made more money today than yesterday. So I can't complain. We sniffed the short out, and here it is, man. It's short city today.
Yeah, and there's your 16 level that just got tested one time. There was a nice little consolidation off at first. If we take this out, I just went back into Wells Fargo. I just went back into Tesla, and if we take this out, then you know which direction we're headed. If we can hold here, because we're starting to slow up a little bit, then you have a decent chance at a bit of a reversal. So this is what we're looking for on the VIX. UVXY is what I look at, just because that's what we have here on our platform. But if you're watching volatility, you're at that pretty much key trigger point. It doesn't matter what name you're looking at. It's about to make its decision right here and right now. I said I would look at Twilio when this happened. I want to look at Shopify as well. Twilio actually breaking the low, so you can forget that. Shopify holding the lows as well. So if it makes a bounce, that's one of the ones that has a lot of room to run. If it's holding the low when we're at this level, then it's pretty significant. You're also on the ES right at Arun's support level that he mentioned this morning, that 41.75 to 41.80. You're pretty much right here right now. Also $30 on Rivian. So putting up 10 cents worth of risk, actually 13 cents worth of risk, because I'm long at 30.13 on RIVN. Shop is pretty tempting, but I already have Tesla, Rivian, and Wells Fargo.
I was going to look at Fisker. I mean, Apple just went to 159.50 there. So I'm on the bid now. Let's get this out for that $4, literally $4. Put that in our pocket right now and just move away from this name. We're sitting on 70. As long as 70, I mean, we'll be there if it fills it. If not, like I said, we have, there it is. Yes, sir. There, a big trade today for me right there as the market goes downside and it's Carnival City. So that's a good move for me right there to get out of that one. Big time wins all over the place. I mean, look at this trade. Boom, right down there, 164 short, out 159.70. So just playing off that wick bottom there yesterday that we also had to the long side. So we're loving some Apple trading. eBay, again, just took down that $50. I mean, this has been such a great day, and I just hope you're having just as much success. Man, Brendan, that board looks nasty, but let's go over to Brendan right now on the big screen. And what's this segment called again? Happening Now or something like that? Sector Watch. Let's go over to Sector Watch and see what's going down.
Market destruction, maybe something along those lines. Anything you see that's green was an earnings beat, essentially. Everything else, yeah, it's not good. Right across the board, ho-hum, we give back the entire post-Fed move in an hour without barely a bounce. So nothing to see here. 2.6% to the downside right now for the S&P. Booking.com, EPAM and the software group, both, as I said, earnings beats. Everything else, pretty ugly, right across the entire board. OGN over there, a nice mover today in the healthcare group, 5.3% on an earnings beat. Twitter up on its own news, 3.8%. Elon securing more funding, if you missed it. Yeah, there is some strength in the energy group off of that move in crude oil, but even that coming back to the downside. So not much to see here other than a sea of red, guys. It's worth noting the financials here, the banks leading right now as far as percentage goes for the market. Back over to you.
Look, that actually is worth mentioning. I mean, the financials, they might be that last line in the sand there. But if we can't hold these levels on the VIX, it doesn't really make a difference what can happen. It's weird enough. I said Oxy was going to stop me out, and I'll often do that when it gets to a level like that, and it's like cents away from hitting a stop, and it's still on the New York. But it got really, really close to stopping out. It never actually violated the lower high, and it's now working back into the upside. So it's not... Like, it was 2 cents away from stopping me when I said it, but I never actually got out of Oxy. So you're still pretty much valid on the breakout. Like, this is the high of the day channel. When you go to the daily chart, you can see why I tried to give it some more room. If we get through the top, I still think, I'm not saying it goes to $70 here today because it's a day trade, but at least 66, 67.5 are numbers that are in play. And we're still finding that bit of a curl on the VIX, which is what I'm watching. So I did grab some Tesla there. 890 is the new fresh low that it has. If we hold here, it's like a risk to reward type of thing. And it's one of those, Like, I wouldn't be able to live with myself if I didn't try it. I went into Rivian as well as we got to this key level on the VIX. Why is it still Oxy when I just flipped it? That's been happening a lot. Anyways, off that $30 level, it's trying to churn to the upside. As it gets through these quarters, I should start to take some profit on Rivian, which is already gone. Weirdly enough, I just said that the banks were holding up. So when we got to that level in the VIX, I added to the banks, to the one bank I was in, which is Wells Fargo, and it looks like it wants to test taking out that bottom. So this is not necessarily working, getting back into this. As much as Rivian caught a bid, you did not. On Wells, and that 16, we're now holding above it. So, watch out below. I got some small caps to the short side, but it looks like only Rivian is managing to hold up on the reloads of the long. Although Oxy is in the money, I don't expect that to care about volatility. That's an oil play.
Ooh, baby. Yeah, look, we've been speechless yesterday when that was going down to the upside, and now we're kind of the same way one more time here. The only position that I have on is this eBay trade, and it's a beautiful one, I think, anyways. $1.50 now in the money, and one that we called early. So really happy with being able to sort of like find that trade. But again, bad earnings, eBay just not going to work out today. So that was a really good trade. Just wish we had more. We were trying to get that. We were literally 5 cents away from getting even more on that trade, but unfortunately that has come back in now to 49.80, and we just still have a small piece left of that trade. Let's review our Apple, man. We got out at 159.70. It's still hanging around here. I don't want to go long on anything. Realistically, look at this AMD trade that we had today. 98.50. We had that in the pre-market. It's at 93. A lot of these names just continue to fall down with really nothing in sight. So that obviously is a little bit of a concern for us here, that I don't know where there's going to be a spot that we could possibly even get out of some of these names. So that's, where, I don't know where there's a bounce spot now. We got to start taking out some VWAP. We got to start getting back up here if we're going to go long. We could zoom in on AMD as much as we want, or zoom out. Is that 91.50 going to hold? Well, we're still so far away from that. So, I don't know. I'm not really liking the action here today unless you're short. So we're just going to hold this one short that we have, and hopefully it will work out for that. We've talked about Fisker. That was
no
a name.
Way.
You're on Rivian, right?
No,
So.
I didn't just see that.
What?
60,000 shares on the offer just filled at 894.8 on Tesla. Someone just got run over. Someone just got run over on Tesla just now. Oh my goodness, are you kidding me?
Maybe this market's
Somebody put 60,000 on the offer on BossX and got filled for the whole thing in one shot. Just as we made that bit of a turn there. Look,
man, you're excited about that play.
Here's the thing. You don't pop that many shares on the offer of $1 trillion company and get filled. Usually what'll happen is it'll get to that price, it'll run away from it for like $4 or $5, and then maybe if it wants to get there, it'll go. It was on the offer, Sean, I'm telling you, man. The second it was on the offer, someone said, I'll take that, and it was gone. So there's that turn coming in. Your Rivian now starting to pop. Tesla just now like $8 in the money for me. To be honest, man, the only reason this trade is working is because somebody else filled that BossX order. And by the way, if you want to look at UVXY, this is the Fed high. This is the high of the day. This is the channel. There's a wick top on the VIX right to yesterday's high and right back into what was that Fed top. So that's what I wanted to watch here. Now Tesla churning through 904. Rivian's up at 30.50, so I got to take some shares off of that one. I said it was going to be a VIX turn at the top, and then watch out for those Fed lows. This is the Fed low on Tesla. This is the low today, now churning through 905. I'm not looking this gift horse in the mouth, man. Somebody sold 60,000 shares on the offer. They're a little bit confident. I'll take the win when we can get it and run to the gates, because that's not the way I expected it to happen, right? I thought we'd just grind off a key technical level. That could just be one dude getting a little bit squeezed because he fat-fingered. I have no idea. But if you're going to give me the win, I'm going to go ahead and take it. Rivian's a bit of a different story. That feels a little bit more confident because it also held a psychological level at 30 even, and there were no games there. So we'll try to hold this one into 31, guys. But that was weird. That's all I'm going to say. You don't throw around, think about it. Do the math yourself. I'm not going to do it because we're heated here. About 60,000 shares on the offer at the low of the day. You're going to put it on the offer to sell it? I can't think of a decent reason why somebody would do that. And then
it's
they get
probably
filled
just an algo, man. It hit its levels. The algo throws it out there. But yeah, look, it spiked it up. Great call. That's why you got to read the tape. I mean, that's, like we talk about looking at level 2s and things like that. Like, I don't see any 60s here or 600s here or anything like that on Facebook, right? And so you got to be able to watch the tape, read it, and the market did spike there. So a nice little move back up to 13,000. That's why we're going to hold on to Facebook one time now. Facebook's down 6%. We take the trade right here. We're long at 211. We don't have this bottom, but let's see now if Facebook can get back up to the upside. This is a name that I like. Again, I think that they came with really super strong earnings. I like this Facebook play. Let's go to the upside and then see if now we can try to get a nice play up to 213, 214. I'm not dumping Facebook. I'm going to be averaging into this play. If it breaks the bottom of the day, then I'm gone. That's 209.50. Until then, I am in this name and hopefully not out of it until we get back up to this 213, 214 area. Today, guys, look, Apple, 1 for 1, AMD, 2 for 2, Datadog. Look where Datadog is, by the way, 111. 3 for 3, eBay. Don't have to say that. 4 for 4, Facebook. Loser, but we're in a nice winner right now for Facebook. Microsoft, couple ins, couple outs, loss, fine. Uber, monster move to the downside. Maybe that just picked up a bottom here as well. Did Uber where was Uber's bottoms yesterday? Yeah, this is not, bottom yesterday is down here, but some of these levels there, like that Fed bottom that Neil was talking about, 26.50 or so for Uber. So maybe that has made a play. I'm just going to dig in here to Facebook, watch this name, hopefully get this name back up to the upside, and then just let's go. Have a good time here into the close of the show. 10:47 right now, 13 more minutes. I like this Facebook trade. My first out's going to be right here at 212.38. Let's just say 212 right here at this 50 period, and then hopefully get into this 213, 214 area as we go. And then, hey, if we fail, we fail, man. We're going to average in one more time down here near 210, and then give it to that 209.50. But after that, this is the name that I'm going to hold on to right now. That's Facebook.
And as quickly as we get out, remember we said take the gift horse and run? It got up to that 905 level, and we gone. So actually, let me remember to cancel my stop order because I made that mistake yesterday on the Qs where I had the long, it worked, and I still had to stop at the Qs. I got the fill on the Qs at the low before the Powell turned.
I just had an apple.
And punched it out instantly. If I had held it, that was the literal low in yesterday's trade. But there's a bit of a turn there. I also took out, I still have some Rivian left, but I took more out in front of 3080 as well. So I'm zooming out so you can see yesterday's lows. That's the only reason I'm zoomed to show you yesterday on every one of these charts, because that's what you had to wait for to grab any kind of a long. Brendan?
Hey guys, Money Talks brought to you by The Small Exchange. Go check out thesmallexchange.com. Sign up for their free info, newsletters, research, guys. Tons of great stuff at thesmallexchange.com. Use a QR code on the screen there. It'll take you straight to their site. Here we go. That's the dollar index, DXY. Zoomed into a 30-minute chart just to show you the crazy volatility that happened during the Fed yesterday. 103.5. This is 102.5. We're right back to where we were yesterday. So equities erase all of the gains. The currency plunged, obviously, on the decision, then right back up today, back to where it was pre-Fed yesterday. So 103.5 basically right now, up 0.86. Everything about the same to the downside. It's worth noting the British pound, the Bank of England came out today and said that the chances of a recession in the UK basically 100%. It's going to happen. So a 2% move there for the pound to the downside on that note from the Bank of England, 123.5. Huge move to the downside. Turkey, I should say, positive. Russia as well. 4.5% again today for the ruble. All of cryptos to the downside as well with the overall equity markets. Guys, back over to you.
Yeah.
But I just want to quickly show, we only have about 10 minutes to go, and then it's going to be a wild afternoon. Let's be real. The midday show is going to be sick. And of course, the close is going to be exciting just based on the volatility we're already seeing. That level that Arun mentioned, we're retesting it to the bottom. He said, look out below if we get down here. Because look what just happened. That same channel on UVXY that just held for the reversal, which it made the Rivian trade work. It gave the Tesla order as well. But we're now testing that high again, and I have to get off this. I don't want to draw a line. We're now testing that high once again. So if it doesn't turn a second time, you can bet your bottom dollar that we can head a heck of a lot lower. Arun's exact words were, was watch out below, or actually, sorry, won't be pretty. And that's the same thing. If we get through this, you're probably making a fresh low and just absolutely wrecking possibly those 41.20s. And that's the reason why you scalp and make sure you take your profit. I suppose if Rivian holds 300, that'll be the last long that I have on because, sorry, $330, that'll be the last long I have on because we are absolutely churning. Volatility up 16% UVXY. It's as if nothing happened. We just crashed and came right back, or ripped and came right back if you're talking about the overall market.
Yeah, no, I mean, like we said, man, this market is not going to be able to find a footing at all, I don't think. We did take into probably our last trade now for Facebook. We averaged in there at 50. Now we're just going to try to hold this name as long as we can here, like I said, and then see if it can get back up into 211. Our average price is 85. So if we can get something like near that top, like around here, 211.20 or so, just because we've averaged in, right? I know I said that my outs would be up here to 12, but you know, the market just retraced back down. It tried to get 13,000, you guys can see there on this chart. It tried to take 13,000, that's right here. So I'll put a line, I know it's hard to see. This is 13 right there. So we bounced off. I don't know if you can still see that or not, but bounced off there again. So, hey, maybe that is going to be the key level for us, whoopsies, on the NASDAQ here. Where is my NASDAQ chart? There it is. If we can't take out that, then watch out, man. I mean, there's a lot of violence coming through. So here we go. Facebook right back up to the upside. We are now in the money on Facebook. I'm waiting. I thought I was going to get some out there at 211, but I guess a little higher than that. If we can get going here on FB, then maybe this mark, there it is. We'll take an out at 07 there. Now we'll try to go to the high side here on FB. What's up, Brendo?
Everyone's second favorite EV maker just popping up. Mullen Group, guys, 10% to the upside right now on heavy volume for Mullen.
Oh, Mullen, everyone's favorite. Someone just asked, reload on Oxy. Well, no, not really, because once it broke that 6280, like the trend on the chart, it's essentially a failed breakout at a quadruple high at the 52-week, the 52-week high and a quadruple high. Quadruple top, and it's a failed breakout through there. So it either holds the dip price and you can reload and it's great, it'll run back to the top, or if it doesn't, you run away. I missed this, and I understand, like, look, small caps, great, they're there to be traded, but when the market's doing this, had to focus on it. I missed BTTX, made another run at $3 and pulled back into VWAP, so it's still the same structure as before, and it's not ignoring these on purpose, but when you have swings like this, and this happening, so we're now through that upward channel, on the VIX. I don't understand why Rivian's still going. It seems like to me it should be back at $30 and potentially holding. Some reason it's holding in the money when we're seeing an absolute breakout now in volatility. Like, forget about it grinding higher. It tried to check up. This looks like an AMC chart when it gets going, not the VIX.
Like, this is just so violent. Like, just on this Facebook trade, like, we just got some out at 211.10 there, and then now it just drops down to 210 flat. So, I mean, it just literally moved $1.50 in 30 seconds downside. So, yeah, exactly, man. You don't want to be holding any of these longs, not on some of these tech names, not today. So, sort of glad that we're able to get some of this out. Like, I may just take a piece out right now again on this dump back upside here. Get me out a little bit if we can, just for a little bit of a hit here at 210 teens. If again, I'm surprised we didn't get that fill there, but we didn't. So now we'll see about that. Just going to empty out of some of this and then just look to try to regain some pressure here on the short side, because honestly, this market down now 4.5. You could go down a hell of a lot more than that. We know that, and this could trigger some sort of a flash crash type of thing if you keep doing this. So, I mean, what kind of buttons are going to get hit when you go down 5%, 6%, things like that? So, just watch out here. Not to be like doom and gloom or anything, but this market is down, and if we don't take down this 13,000 again, then that's 3 times we've tested. I just, no point in holding some of these. It's really a shame. I mean, it's not a shame. Apple's actually holding up well. We took $4 clean on that one. We still have $2 now in the money on eBay. I mean, come on. This was a trade that we gave you. We love that trade early. We should have got reloaded there. We didn't. This is just collapsing to the downside. Uber on a good report yesterday. Bad report actually. See to the downside there. We should still be short. We're not. We got nervous there thinking it was going to go back up. That was a big mistake as that's still going to the downside. But yeah, only 5 minutes left. Check out Datadog, guys. You want to talk about Datadog? 111, man. We made money on Datadog today. Isn't that crazy? Off of these 120. So maybe we made a bottom there at 109. But wow, some of these names just dancing. We took a little bit of pressure off there on Facebook as we got out teens there. But wow, just what a crazy day. U.S. Steel.
I just noticed.
I don't even know what's going on with Nucor either.
We'll go to. I think we got Brendan here.
Yeah, I was just going to mention, guys, more earnings fun to come aftermarket tonight and before the open tomorrow. Busy board again today. More EV names to look at.
Down.
Yeah, I mean, look, obviously, Lucid, DraftKings, I know everyone's concerned about that. Block, Lucid, DoorDash. Those are the three that I'll be probably the most focused. Fubo, we don't really, I guess we care about Fubo on earnings day and then nowhere else. But yeah, that's about it. Oh, I always like looking at Astra. I'm a nerd. I like him.
Yeah, I mean, Enbridge is there for Canada, but I mean, I don't. DraftKings in the middle. That's Block's new logo.
Yeah.
Oh man,
Isn't it ugly?
I'm holding that stock.
It's so ugly. I don't know. It doesn't matter. Actually, it matters to me. But if your ticker sucks or your logo is ridiculous.
Yeah. I can't believe we're talking about stocks with their logos now. Okay, let's look at Square quickly. I'm still calling it Square. I don't care. Let's see what's happening now. Until they change their name to like I don't know, what could they do? BLK? No, that'd be BlackRock. Anyways, I don't know, they're gonna have to change their ticker at some point, I guess. $97. This name down 9% today, man. And again, just kind of, like I said, you want to take some shots on some of these, you're at some decent levels here. So, yeah, but this market doesn't want to go up. So that's really the problem. Oh, by the way, we got out of our Facebook as that took down. Look how low this is, man. 209 flat now on Facebook. That took that out, so we're out of that one. What's up, Ms. V?
Hey guys, I hope you're having a good day so far. Please join Proud and me right after to continue this crazy move to the downside. And of course, make sure you like the video, support the community no matter what. We're every day here for you. And happy Cinco de Mayo, everyone.
The taco eater there on the chat. There's a big day for him, I'd imagine, as well. Have some margaritas, man. I like the lime margaritas. I like the mango margaritas. I'm all about everything. Those of you well, you know all about Miami, man. That's what the drinks are getting thrown down around there.
When you're on South Beach, it's like they got the ones, and it's like this. And if you've never had them, they're huge.
Yeah. No, I was too busy paying $35 a drink at the pool, so that was really cool.
You think prices are bad in Miami? Oh my goodness, like our bill, and we went to like, where the heck was I? Did I have dinner before the game this week? Shoot, it was just one of the bars.
Oh yeah, we went out with
the
kids at one point. It was a lot of money.
It was nuts,
too.
Man. Like, what are we even paying? My wife got a margarita, and I just got like a simple old fashioned. Which, by the way, I like to rate if it's a generic bar. If I get an old fashioned or Manhattan, like that tells me how quality your bar is. Like if I can make a better one at home.
Yeah, and if I have simple ingredients.
And if I have to tell you that I want it with bourbon, then we got an issue.
I was going to say, I guess the quality of the bourbon, right? I mean,
well, it's not just that. It's just it's the right combination when you're mixing it there. But just to go back to the metal name, just because I glossed over it, U.S. Steel it did just break major support. Attempting to break major support on the daily chart down here at 28.50. So this is a major retracement. Like I know Nucor. Like Nucor's a little bit different because it's actually above its 50 period. U.S. Steel is a far more volatile name. But as it churns below here, if it gets back to the 20 to 22s where I love the stock, then I'll be all over it. I don't really see that happening today, obviously, but now it's on the radar. Only 1 minute to go, Cinco de Mayo, market making crazy moves. And look, we're still on Tesla, by the way, somehow by the grace of whatever, we're holding these bottoms on Tesla despite the fact, I was about to say despite the fact that we're still making fresh highs. We're back into that channel in volatility where if we reverse this and get back below 16, you're going to probably run heavy to the upside. If we get below 16 and I have a chance to reload Rivian, which I'm not going to because it's still at 30.70, then I would. But that's the last long that I really like down here. I already got it on Tesla thanks to that one big order. But what a crazy market, man. I kind of feel like the end of the week is going to be
something else.
Yeah, exactly, something else. That's the best way to put it. It's going to be something else. The rest of this day is going to be something else.
Shout out to my wife there. I see you in the chat. Hope everything is going well. And she has no problems with those white sangrias. She was loving those, and they were very tasty. So shout out to Nelson and Fontainebleau there, as that was a great experience. And I'd go back and pay those prices in a heartbeat. So okay, let's get ready to rock and roll. It's been a fantastic day. Obviously, it's past past 11, Neil. So
Yeah,
let's just wrap this thing up right now. As Trader Prad's getting ready to rock and roll, so are we, man. Looks like the NASDAQ and Mullen trying to get back upside here. So that might be a name to look at there, Prad. Mullen, as we're getting ready to go here, starting to make some moves. But that's it for us. It's been a great show.
It's been a great show. It's going to be even better right now, and then back again at the close. Go get them. Trader Prad, Miss V, Market Movers.
To Market Movers, it is Thursday. Time to boogie, time to dance, and somewhat of a not that much of a dance in market. But I'm your host, Trader Prad. This is the beautiful Miss V.
Thank you, Brad. Hey, guys. I hope you're doing well so far. Negative markets today. And as usual, please be active on the chat. Ask us anything. And we would really appreciate if you like this video. Brad, I like your bright shirt.
Oh, thank you.
Nice. Is it stands for red markets?
Yes.
I see.
I didn't plan it that way, but